And we are back, everybody. We are here for Game 2 of Uprising 2021, the first time this is being run. I am still Adam Kemmerly. I'm still joined by the amazing Nick Standing. Can you say hello, my man?
Hey, Adam. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to everyone in the chat.
Yeah, we please get a sound check. We've done a bit of fiddling in the background. Please let us know they're coming through nice and clear. You guys can hear us. You guys can see us. We have a couple of it was a bit of a request for a couple of Custodes games. We've been able to make that happen. We've got 2 Custodes games for you. So yeah, a little bit to get excited about there. But yeah, this is a very interesting set of games here. These are going to be. I feel like this is going to be the cagey games. So these are people who've gotten a decent win round 1, and yeah, they're looking to hopefully not get a decent win round 2, I think is kind of the consensus. I went and had lunch with a bunch of players during the downtime, and there was guys who got 90s. They're like, oh, geez, I wish I didn't score 90 points, but if I didn't get 90 points, I was going to lose. And but then there's other people who are just like, man, I got like a 55-point win. It was sick. And you just never hear that anywhere else except at like a super major, you know?
Yeah, that's it, man. So keep below the radar, like we mentioned in the first stream. You want to submarine your way to the top. You don't want to get in there and start playing all the Liam Hackett's and all the Luke Pierces, all the big names.
Exactly right. Not before time. Not before you've worked your way into the event. You're primed. You see what everyone else is playing. You got to feel for how people play, because it's a real thing. People play things differently in different places, or people play the game differently. I was even noticing during the Masters, I had a look at there was 4 Queenslanders in attendance. There was a couple of Victorians, 2 Victorians, a couple of people from South Australia, etc., etc. I was looking at the list. I was just like, the Queenslanders take double the amount of OBSEC that the Victorians take. And it was a telling factor, especially in my game versus in my game and Morrisoli's game, all the games. It's such a telling factor. And it gave, well, not a huge advantage. It did really dictate the pace of the games, especially on tables like this. When you play on tables that are as dense as the ones that we're playing on today, OBSEC is king. And OBSEC, flexible OBSEC that can be quick and be slung around, is absolute like God mode powerful, yeah?
Yeah, you're right on the mark there, Adam. And tables like this is what we're seeing in tournaments. And we've been lucky up here in Queensland to have a few tournaments under our belts. I know you guys have had some more tighter restrictions with your health and safety protocols down there, so you haven't actually been able to get out and play as many games against a wide variety of people and army lists that we've been able to up here. And that could be why we're seeing the difference in the extra OBSEC, and we may be a little bit more, not necessarily advanced in playing the game, but advanced in the journey of finding what the meta is.
Yeah, we're actually going to have to jump into one of our games here. Like, so these guys have just started deployment, and we know not all people deploy at an equal pace. We're going to jump into our first game because it is well under freaking way. I believe this is Custodes versus Dark Angels. I'm just going to jump up and grab a look at the list very quickly.
And am I right in saying, am I seeing a Predator Annihilator there on the left-hand side of the table?
I think you might be. I think you just might be, my man. Yeah, let me just make sure I got these names right. So this will be, hopefully, Neil Phillips versus Nick Wright. Just trying to find these lists, because naturally I've got all 6 lists up, guys. It takes me a little bit to find it. He's got a Telemon, so I'm just trying to look for the list. There's the Telemon list. All right. And what's he playing against? It looks like Dark Angels, definitely Space Marines.
Yeah, it looks like it's definitely Space Marines. Yeah, and I do believe those land speeders and stuff. It looks like some land speeder Tempest, maybe down the bottom in the center there. So some Inceptors on the right, maybe a Vanguard vet. So we should be able to find through that.
Just had a shout out. Stuart Trainer has just jumped in. He's playing the Paladins on one of our games here today. He's just said, give a shout out to my mum. He's just told his family that he's playing on stream, and he's like, shout out my family, shout out my mum. Hello, Stuart's family. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully your son and your boy can do you guys proud. And maybe he doesn't win, maybe he loses, but hopefully he does right. Just to quickly go over these lists. So I'm going to go over the Custodes list. Looks like they are taking this game by the scruff, and they are going for it. So you got a Patrol Detachment, which is Shadow Keepers. Starts off with the Collector's Assassin. I think that's a good pick for this meta. Shield Captain in Alaris Terminator armor. Shield Captain in Dawn Eagle bike. A unit of 5 guard, 2 shields, 3 spears. A unit of Aquilans, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. With a Vexillus Praetor with the Magnifica standard. And then he's got a unit of Venatari and a unit of Virtus Praetors. The Virtus Praetors do have Silver launches as well. Then wrapping it up with the Telemon with 2 Storm Cannons. He's kind of got he's just got 4 good units, and one of them, like a unit of Aquilans, are incredibly good. A unit of Venatari, incredibly strong. A unit of Virtus Praetor bikes, really, really crazy good, and a Telemon to back it up. I actually quite like this list. It's quite well rounded. It's good for the meta. Is it the best Custodes list out there? I actually don't know. You probably say better than I can. So what are your thoughts, dude?
Yeah, well, we're using the FAQ, so obviously those bikes there have dropped in 10 points each, down from 95 to 85. So a lot of chatter been going around about those bikes and whether or not they're a lot more playable now, which I think they will be.
Yep.
Sorry, Adam, I missed what weapons did you say they were carrying? Have they got the salvos on them, or they got the
All
Hurricanes
salvos, which I think is the
on them?
much better pick.
Salvos.
When you're packing,
Yeah, I prefer it. I love it.
Yeah, when you're packing the Birdie boys, what are they? Venatari. When you're packing the Venatari,
The Venatari.
and you're packing Aquilans, and with mostly Lastrum Stormbolters, you don't need the Hurricanes. You don't need the Hurricanes on your Virtus Praetors.
Oh,
you
100%.
You don't even want them on there because what you really want is to just be slaying Marine bodies, which is probably what this guy expected to see. Also, they're really good against Necrons. The Hurricane Bolters might be better against Warriors, but I guess things like Wraiths, the Servo launchers are so much better.
Yeah, well, the salvo launchers, they can have the blast keyword for the salvo for the flak missiles or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So that's helps things like hordes and stuff like that, which Custodes need a bit of a help out with their anti-horde there. And they've also got a strat which allows them to have 2d6 pick the highest damage rolls on their d6 weapons, which is actually a massive deal on a unit of 5. Yeah, George pointed out that the flak burst. Yeah, thanks for that, George.
Yeah, I would like to say these guys have no chill either. It looks like the Marines went first, and the move had a bit of a cautious positioning battle. Actually, let's go to the Marines list. Sorry, I've only given you guys half the picture. So the Marine Army, let's see where it starts off with. That is Sisters. All right, Born Heroes, Tactical Withdraws, White Scar Successes. I'm actually not sure what Tactical Withdraws is, guys. I'm hoping someone in the chat will let me know, because that's one I haven't heard of much. Captain on Bike, Chagorian Storm, Combi Flamer, Tempered by Wisdom, Armor and Dominus, Imperium Sword, and a Thunderhammer. So he's quite punchy, and he's quite resilient on the return. He's also got an Invicta Tactical Warsuit, a unit of 10 Vanguard Veterans. Funnily enough, he's got 4 guys with Plasma Pistols and Storm Shields, and then 6 guys with Twin Lightning Claws. Interesting configuration. Interesting is what I'll say. Maybe it's not fully
choice.
Maybe it's not fully optimized, but you don't need to be. You're Vanguard veterans. You're just going to kill everything anyway, especially White Scars ones. 3 units of Outriders, which I think is actually quite saucy for this matchup particularly, because apart from the Virtus Praetors, they're going to have the run of the board. There's nothing else here that's going to catch them. The Venatari can, admittedly. Then he has what is this? Outrider attachment, Primaris Chaplain on a bike, 1 Invader ATV with a multi-meta, 1 Invader ATV with an onslaught cannon, 3 Landspeeder Tornadoes with heavy flamers and multi-melters. I'm actually a fan of this unit. A lot of people have never heard of it, don't even know that it's any good. I'm a big fan of it. He also has a unit of scout bikes, it looks like 5 of them, and a Predator Annihilator.
Unit of scout bikes.
Yeah, so this is some of the stuff we expect to see on one of 3 tables. You expect to see some bits and pieces that you might not see elsewhere. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that apart from the Vanguard veteran unit, there's not much here that is going to threaten this unit of this army of Custodes. So we've just seen a deep strike by the Aquilin Terminators, by the way. If you've noticed that, the Aquilins have hit the board. They're in the top to the left of the orange crater. That means it's
How
turn.
did they come down?
That means it's turn 2. These guys are speedy.
These boys
freaking
are fast.
Yeah, the sheer lack of chill by these 2 men is astonishing. Take your time, boys. It's been a while since any of us got to be here. Don't need to eat the whole meal in one bite. But yeah, so that means what I think has happened is the Custodes have gone first. They've had a very cautious move turn 1. In response, the White Scars have done the same, and now it's going to be a pretty full-on turn 2 by the Custodes. Aquilins are coming in, they're going to put all their fire, all their goodness into those Vanguard vets. Like I said, that Vanguard vet unit is the only thing that's going to threaten a big unit of Custodes, yeah? Apart from that, all you can do is pin shit into these guys. As soon as those Vanguard vets go down, or 2/3 killed, he hasn't got much to worry about. He can start spreading out and trying to dominate the board and bully into this army. Admittedly, things like a Predator Annihilator, as joking as it is at sometimes, it can just spike and kill 3 bikes, 4 bikes, which would be completely hectic.
That's it. Full Las cannons are no joke.
No, absolutely not. So I think that's interesting. We might jump out and have a look at one of the other games. Someone in chat tell us which one of these guys you want to look at. We'll jump into the 4 tables, the 4 scenes, and you guys tell us which one of these games you guys want us to look at next. Just reading some of the comments. Kylo Turley, I prefer the Forge Wheel bikes as 5 of them get 20 shots. Yes, the unit is 550 points. Rough. Tactical Withdrawal is 1 CP for Phobos only, I think. Didn't he had it listed as one of his command traits, one of his successor traits. So maybe we're thinking on the wrong thing. To shut down objective secure, change your deep strike deny. Fair enough. I'll run with that until we find out anything better. You want to see the Orcs. Nick the Orcs. I didn't think there was Orcs playing on this day, on this event. I didn't think there was Orcs on any of these. It's Sisters versus Custodes. Wait, let me just double check.
I think he's just talking about in general. He just wants to see Orcs.
Ah, cool. Yeah, actually, we can do that.
A man that loves his warg.
Who doesn't love a good warg? It's just good for the whole family. It's just good family viewing. If I could have an Orc player on every game, I'd know I'd always have something funny to call. Like, it's that simple. So it looks like we've just called that game. Let's move our way up. It looks like there's not much happening on the Grey Knight table. We're going to transition. We're going to jump over to our table 1 for today. We're going to quick
Is that
look.
top right? Yep.
Yes, top right. So that is Neil with his Dark Angels versus Nick with the Sisters. So our first Sisters army of the day, our second Dark Angels, and the Dark Angels are out in force at this event. Which list would you like to hear first, Nick?
I've got the Dark Angels, so if you want to go the Sisters, mate, and I can take away with the Dark Angels.
No, you just fire off the Dark Angels, mate. I'll wrap up with the Sisters.
All right. No worries. All right, so we've got a relic of the chapter here. Let's go through it. So we've got a Deathwing Ancient in a no Force Org slot. He has a Warlord of Azrael. Then he has a Ravenwing Talon Master, a Ravenwing Apothecary. He has 2 command squads in there. Only one's got a pair of Lightning Claws, and the other one has a Power Sword and a Chain Fist. My apologies. He actually has 3 of them, so he's loving them.
Yeah, he's loving them.
Then he has a Deathwing Terminator squad, another Deathwing Terminator squad, and then 2 lots of 3 multi-melter attack bikes.
This is a good list, guys. This is quite a good list.
This is a good list.
Yeah, his Terminator units are beefy. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Thunderhammer Storm Shields in each unit, 2 Cyclone Missile Launchers, one Mook, I'm assuming, to take the first las cannon, who's just got a Stormbolter Chain Fist, and then 2 guys with Lightning Claws. And those are homogeneous. He's got 2 of those. And then he's got the 2 3-man units of multi-melters, which is really quite saucy. So looking at his deployment right now, I can only see... the deployment's not finished, by the way. I can only see 1 unit of Terminators down, blobbing up in the middle. I think he's got a couple of 2-mans out front and then a 10-man behind. And they're being flanked by the units of 3 multi-melters. This is pretty... I like this list a lot. I wish I had 1 more Talon Master, just because I feel like it doesn't clear screens as well. Like, you're going to have to use Cyclone Missile Launchers to clear screens and stuff. But that doesn't make it bad by any stretch of the imagination. This is actually a pretty good variant of the Terminator-esque list that we've been seeing. And he's pushing Terminators as, like, his freaking everything in this army, which is nice. But let's have a look at the Sisters. It's got... this guy has 2... So this is Nick. Neil was the gentleman we just... Nick and Neil, of course. 2 units of 2 Death Cult Assassins. 2 Just Be Scramblers Getters and Engage Getters, I'm assuming. So what is he? He is Valorous Heart. He's got a Canoness with Litanies of Faith as a relic. Triumph of St. Catherine. 1, 2, 3, 4 units of Battle Sisters, just bare bones. And a Magifier with Tales of the Stoic Warlord and Indomitable Belief. He's got a Preacher. In heavy support, 1 unit of Mortifiers, 1 unit of Retributors with 3 Multi-Melters. Another unit with the same 3 Multi-Melters, and then he's got a Bloody Rose Vanguard as well. Canoness, Blessed Blade, what you'd expect. A unit of Celestians, another Magifier. 1, 2, 3 units of 9 Repentia, and 2 more units of 3 Mortifiers. That is 2 units of Retributus, rather than the usual 3 we see, but instead of that, he's got 3 units of 3 Mortifiers, and he's still got 3 units of Repentia. This thing is deadly. It's not going to shoot as well as some of the other ones we've seen, just because, like, a 3rd unit of Retributus would be really good, but he's got a lot of Heavy Bolters. Heavy Bolters can do a lot of work. The unfortunate reality is Heavy Bolters being Rend 1 into all these Thunderhammer Storm Shield Terminators means he's always going to have 2+ saves against them. So he might have been better with more multi-melters in this sense. But still a very good list, man. What do you think of that one?
Man, just like adaptive subroutines as mentioned in the chat there, the FAQ has really helped out the Mortifiers there. So the bring them down, them going to one thing each, it's a massive change for them. So he's able to get them into combat. He's not as scared of losing them, so he's able to bump them up massively. We've seen a lot of lists actually floating around on the Art of War with 12 Mortifiers. So that's been a pretty popular thing at the moment. So I'm liking this list. Like you've mentioned, the shooting's different. It's not so much multi-melter centric as we've seen on our streams recently, but no, I'm liking it. It's very good.
I'm just looking, as those Repentia he's deployed just to in front of that watchtower on the right-hand side, they look to be Repentia to me.
It looks to be, yeah. And it looks, there's lots of chainswords floating around up there.
Yeah, it's a bit close for my mind. I think a Talon Master can just go straight up from this position right now, or down to the right, and possibly pick up half that unit, 3/4 of that unit. I feel like that's a little bit of an overextension. Or they don't need to be that close. I'd have every single Repentia inside that top right-hand ruin. Unfortunately, we have had a camera bump as well. We are missing the top kind of 6 inches of the table. I might see if I can run off and get that fixed at some point, but not until we've given you guys all the tables that you'll be seeing. Time for us to go to our third table, though. Unless there's anything else you want to say here, mate?
No, all I was going to mention, I'd probably looking at putting a couple of those Repentia into reserve myself.
Yeah, I'd
have four or five objective game. I don't see the Deathwing expanding out too much.
Yeah.
Mostly just be able to hold the 3 on the left and the center.
Mm.
Then outflanking that Repentia, coming on the left-hand side of the table and messing up with them, I think would be the key.
That's right. This is a very good game for this Dark Angels army. Very good mission. 5 objective mission. Man, I'm just going to put 60 wounds of Terminators with a 5+ feel no pain on this middle objective, and I'm going to freaking win. Because guess you what this guy's taking? Oath of freaking moment. You know? So, yeah, there's no chance.
Yeah, man, without question.
It's really bad. I wonder what 9 Mortifies does to that Termi brick. I'm telling
that's what I was thinking. You got to get those Mortifiers in there, get those Repentia in there.
Look, it's probably not enough to get him in one go, and then they interrupt and swipe back and really do a number on you. But sending one unit Repentia in, double attack, another one goes in, double attack, and then the Mortifiers maybe come in after. I'd love to have seen the Repentia staging in that blue ruin in the top right, and then from there he can sling them in one at a time. Because what he doesn't want to do is go in a big wave, just lose because of the wonky nature of the saving and the wounding on 4s that these Terminators have, and then just get absolutely destroyed on the rebound. But let's go and jump into our final game.
Yeah, that's it.
The family trainer is in attendance. I hear. Give us please, if Stewie's family out there, please have a shout out in the chat. We want to say hello to you guys. Freaking lovely if you guys are joining us as well. And let's have a quick call. So I'll read out. You've got the list up. You want to do one of the lists?
You go first, man. I'm not sure which the other one is. I think Stuart's the only one that's actually put his name on a list.
Yeah, no.
So shout out to Stuart for that. I appreciate that.
You raised him right, guys. So I'll do Stewie Trainer. Stewie's my boy. He's my my champion for the event. He's one of my favorite guys in this event. All right, Battalion Detachment. He has a Librarian who has Warp Shaping, Armor Resilience, Empiric Domination. He's a Lawmaster, hence he's got the 3rd power. And he's got the Artisan Nullifier Matrix. He also has a Chaplain with Litanies of Purity, Litany of Hate, Recitation of Projection, and Invocation of Focus. Geez, they make it hard for you. He also has Edict Imperator and the Sanctic Shard, so he's going to be getting your CP back. He has Lord Caldor Drago, because he's a baller. 10 Paladins, 5 Warding Staves, 5 Halberds, 4 Psy Cannons. They know Gate. 8 Purifiers, 8 Warding Staves, and they know Sanctuary. So they're going to be your broken 2+ invulnerable save unit. 4 Servitors to be Action Monkeys. 2 units of Strikes, all with Halberds. A unit of 10 Terminators with 4 Warding Staves and Stormbolters. 10 Purgators, all with Silencers, and a Rhino to keep them all safe. I actually am a really big fan of this list. Have you got any thoughts? You're quite up to date with Grey Knights. What are your thoughts there, man?
Yeah, we've seen a lot of, like Lukey's been playing a lot of GKs. Obviously, Eric's been playing a lot of GKs. We've seen a lot of them floating around. They've got a lot of tricks. The James Fuller's been playing them as well. As the obviously Astral Aim and all that sort of stuff. The Warding Staves giving you a top invulnerable. There's a lot of strong things that in the right hands, and especially with this type of terrain that we're seeing here, can actually do a lot of damage and is very difficult to deal with. Things like a Ball the Witch, while they might seem like an easy take, the changes to the FAQ and the ability to keep your units alive with Gate and all that, it's actually hard to get a Ball the Witch against an extremely good GK's player.
Dude.
This list that Stuart has, I like.
He's built this army and practiced it and played it in a way to not give up a ball, and then they had the Abhor the Witch changes, which now means he gives up even less points into something he already wanted to be doing. Also, I just want to point out, this is a really good table for him. Really good table. Yeah, phenomenally good table. Those Paladins I expect to be gated behind that right-hand side box or into the upper left-hand side on first turn, and they will probably stage there for 2 or 3 turns and just take a pound of flesh each and every turn. Do you know which mission this is? Once again, I did get a rundown of the missions, but I believe they're not correct. What's the 5 objective mission that deploys in Vanguard?
I will have a look for that, and while I have a look for that, I'll just go through the other army.
Please do.
James's army. This actual army is something that I've been actually playing around with, very similar myself, writing some lists. So I'm a big fan of this. It's an Ultramarine army. He's got my main man, Tigerius, there.
Tiggy.
Then he has a Primaris Tech Marine. Then he has a unit of Assault Intercessors, a unit of Infiltrators, and then normal Intercessor squad there. So he's running 3 Redemptor Dreadnoughts, all with the Macro Plasma and the Onslaught Gatling Cannon. So I like that a lot. He has 2 units of 2 Victrix Honor Guard. Then he has an Inceptor squad, the Plasma variant, and then he has the Primarch himself, Rabute Gilliman.
The rowboat. The robiest of the boat. You missed, did you mention a Calidus Assassin?
Sorry, yeah, skip right over the Calidus there.
Now, interesting thing here, seeing as a single assassin, he could have paid 2 CB to make him a Calexis, which would have been an absolute pain in the freaking butt for the Grey Knights.
Would have been.
I mean, admittedly, it also hurt Tigerius, but just the sheer factor of being able to possibly shut down things like Gate and Astral Aim, all that kind of stuff.
We don't know that. He may have done that.
Well, yeah, exactly right. We're not going to know, but I'm just telling you he had the option, which is really saucy. So you're a big fan of the triple Redemptors. I know I'm a big fan. I prefer the mine with plasmas, but there's nothing wrong with the Gatlings whatsoever. It's definitely not an inferior choice.
Sorry, these do have the plasmas. They have the Onslaught as well.
Oh, okay, so apologies. Yeah,
rather than the Flamer.
The best setup for.
So I'm a big fan of this list. I'm a massive fan. This is right on my alley. This is something I would definitely see myself playing.
Victrix Honor Guard, yeah, they come in 2-mans, yeah, and they're because
they come in 2-man. That's correct.
I take company veterans quite often, and they're essentially like super country veterans. Yeah, they're like a 2-man Blade Guard unit with a few extra perks with bodyguard and stuff.
Yeah, that's it. So they've got the bodyguard rules. They've actually also kept their 3-up invulnerable so they're one of the few units in the game that actually have a 3-up Storm Shield. Well, so you're looking at on those bad boys with a 2-up, 3-up. 1-up, 3-up in cover.
Well, dude, legit. They are the same points. It's 35 points for a Blade Guard veteran, isn't it? And these guys are 35 points each as well.
Yes. You've got to take him a unit of 2 for 70. That's correct.
That's legit value, though, man.
Oh, it definitely is. And he's taking 2 units of 2. So
I like that a lot.
Just straight up, that's adding a lot of durability there to the big bad Bobby G.
Yeah, I like that. I like that very, very, very much. Okay, back to our three. No, we're not back to our 3 table view. Let's go straight back to our boys with no chill. And hopefully they've chucked in some secondaries for us to have a quick look at. Because these are our boys.
Hopefully the game's still going. It might be over.
I've done another 3 turns and it's cooked. And the scores are in. Unfortunately, they have not put their secondaries in. I might need to get onto Mr.
We
Napier.
are looking at a bloodbath here, though, Adam. So like you mentioned, there were those equivalent Terminators in the top left. They have just laid down the fire support against those Vanguard veterans, and they have mowed them down. It looks like I'm counting 4 remaining there.
Yeah, man. Of your full unit of 10 that had 6 Storm Shields. So, yeah, those guys do some absolute pain. Because, of course, you had the 2 CP double shoot, or is it? I think it's 2 CP double shoot. Surely it's not 1 CP.
It might be 1 CP. No, I think it is 2 CP, actually. It's 1 CP for the Venatari. No, it's 1 CP because the Venatari are 1 CP as well. George
will correct me in 5 for
He will.
3.
He is our man.
Ron Trainer. Ron freaking Trainer. Hi, everybody. Good luck, Stu's dad, watching on the bus to Wodonga. Thank you so much, Stu's dad. We're going to cheer on your boy. No bias, but go Stu. There it is. George corrected. 1 CP, superior fire, patterns.
Well done, George.
Hilarious.
Always there, brother. Colo's there as well. All the Custode players coming through for us.
Love it. But yeah, what's going down here? Looks like we've gone into what's probably the bottom of turn 2 for the Marines. The Vanguard veterans has slung over the ruin. They're going for could be a pretty juicy charge into the 5-man unit of Custode Guard. Could even be a shield captain in a Alaris Terminator armor in there also. The first Praetors made a charge straight down to the bottom. Looks like they cleaned up an entire unit of Outriders and are now threatening to sweep in. Looks like they killed.
They got rid of the land speeders
as well. Yeah, sorry, yeah, because the land speeders are gone, but the Outriders are still there. You're absolutely right. So yeah, all 3 land speeders pulled down in 1 turn. It's actually pretty good. Winning on 4s and then them having a 5+ save, 6 wounds apiece. It's odds,
yeah, it looked like they got rid of 1 in the shooting phase as well. So they popped off 1 in the shooting phase. It looked like.
Reroll to
and
wins.
There was 2 left, and in combat there they went and got rid of them.
Reroll to wins against vehicles. Absolutely right. They would get a lot of work done there. Really awkward position
and then
here.
Rerolls to win in combat in the first round. So
it looks like they're into the shooting phase. Looks like the las cannons off the Predator just killed an Aquilin Terminator, which is pretty sauce. I like that. I like seeing Preds on the table, man. I still love that model. Have you seen one of the Gladiators in real life?
One of the Gladiators? No, I haven't seen one in real life, but I do want to get some of them.
I want to see one in real life. I want to see if it tickles my juices as much as the Predator does, because the Predator just has so much like nostalgia factor for me for being in the game for like half my life. But an interesting thing is that's happened here. The Outriders, and I think what is his. I'm going to double check. I feel like it's got a character on a bike there, who can't be an Outrider because he's got 3 units of Outriders still on the table. I just want to know.
So that's his chappie that he's got sitting there.
Yeah, it's his chappie. I hope that chappie's charging in, because he's dead set right in stooping dive range. He's like just
he definitely is.
Yeah, chappie on bike. Oh, that's what he's going to do. He's got armor and dominus on that bike chappie. He's going to go in, pop the armor and dominus, and hold up that unit of Custo.
And just tank
bikes. Hold up that unit of bikes. And you see how the bikes are spread across that ruin? If he goes 1 inch within one of them, it's really unlikely that all 5 get to hit him back. So he actually has good odds to make it out of there, especially if he decides to put in the Outriders as well. Put the Outriders 1 inch away from the guys just to the upper right of the Outriders, and then the chappie just to the other guys at one above on the objective, and that would really split. Oh no, sorry, not the objective. That would really split what he's able to do. And because what you don't want to do right now is have them stooping dive into you, and they're OBSEC. They will take that left objective. They will just steal it off you. And for those who don't know what stooping dive is, it means they get to charge you on their turn, and when they charge you, they fight before all your stuff. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's definitely some of the nuances to playing the Custodes army. Once you get them down pat, that and obviously throwing out your grenades, your tanglefoot grenades, that's a big one. Obviously, the bikes can't do that because they're not infantry, but throwing out your tanglefoot grenades, interrupting people in combat, assaulting people in their turn, things like that's what makes Alaris heavy list so good. Obviously, the bikes, they've lost a lot of the ability to move out of combat. They've lost the ability to perform majority of the actions, which are beneficial. And obviously the Hurricane Bolters aren't as good as what they used to be when we saw in the previous editions.
Yeah.
So they're the main 3 reasons why we've seen the bikes drop in value in games. But they're obviously still hard to get rid of. They don't have the strats that the Alaris have, but they still have the same wounds and invuln and all the type of things that can make those Alaris tough units to get rid of and shift. So it's very interesting to see what the Space Marine player is going to do here to be able to get them out of his deployment zone.
Absolutely right. He has done a good job. Getting rid of the multi-melters was one of the only things that could really spike and like be a deadly threat to a lot of his units. I suppose the next one would be the Predator. It feels weird to say that most dangerous thing on an army is a Predator. But mind you, he did the 2 things he needed to do. Got the multi-melters off the board, which was quite easy to do with the firepower he had, the positioning he was, and really compromised the Vanguard Veteran unit. Now, really, all he needs to do is either tap or kill that Predator, and there's nothing else here that's going to pick up a decent quantity of Custodes. It's a really powerful thing. You know, same with Knights, yeah? You got that gatekeeper factor, that Knights, you can just kill all the things that can kill a Knight, and then the Knights win the game. The issue is with 9th edition, without having OBSEC and being able to play the primary, you're just like, I don't care about your Knights, you can't hold objectives, they're all mine, I still win the game. Custodes is the inverse of that. Everything's OBSEC. Everything is OBSEC. If you take away their ability to kill Custodes, you just lose to Custodes. Like, there's no freaking chance. Because you can't play any game against them, unless you're like an ultimate horde. Like, unless you got just so many bodies, it doesn't matter. But I would love to see Custodes count as 2 models. You take pure Custodes, your Custodes models count as 2 on objective. So you can take 3 mans that count as 6 guys, e.g. 5 intercessors can't walk up and take it away from you. You'd need a 6 to equal. I like that a lot better than where they are at the moment. But it might make them too powerful. Admittedly, it might make them too powerful.
Yeah, well, lots of things are getting that sort of stuff in the game. Even if it was just like the basic Custodians counted as 2, and it wasn't the bikes and the equivalent Terminators and those sort of things.
I'd be down.
That would still be a massive bonus.
Make Wardens count as 3, and then maybe we might want to take all Wardens. Because right now,
I do believe if you look up, it's probably a bit unknown, but if you look up the Emissaries in Purtus, they've actually got a Vexilla bonus. Whilst they are within 6 inches of a model with this relic, you can reroll 5 morale, which is obviously good.
Yep.
But models count as 3 models for the purpose of determining who controls an objective marker. So it's probably unknown to many people, but Custodes actually do already have that. But most people are already taking Shadow Keepers and are unaware that this is the case.
Yeah. Dude, it's dead set. There's a lot of good stuff in that book, man. I'm actually a big fan of bikes all of a sudden. When they went down, I was already a big fan of bikes. But when they went down 10 points, I was like, some juicy stuff now. They're actually still pretty good. I wish they had like 1 more attack. Just because for what was close to 100 points, like just didn't feel like they had enough punch compared to like a Blade Guard veteran for a third the cost hits almost as hard, you know? We are seeing...
That's it. Even just Outriders themselves, like before the price hike, the Outriders, just the amount of shooting they put out, just for 3 dudes, the amount of combat, like 21 shots. if they're within the assault range and they neg one, like they're better than the Hurricane Bolters. So that was something we were seeing.
I have switched us back to the 3 screens. Is there a game you want to particularly have a look at, or just want to call a bit from where we're at vantage point now? We will jump into whatever game you guys feel the need.
Looking at I'm obviously keen to see the Ultramarines and the Sisters game, but they don't seem to be very deep into it at the moment, so we can probably stay away from that for a bit. So obviously the other 2 games are the ones that are a bit more in depth right now.
So the issue with the Grey Knights game, there's going to be so much going on in this game we're not going to be able to see.
Yes, that is true.
Like Stewie's going to be fire and fading. Like, was it Edict Imperator? When you move out and then you can move again up and shoot and then move. He's going to be doing that. He's going to be gating into these in and out of these ruins, these big ruins. Yeah, he's going to be doing all sorts of stuff. In fact, I might go like.
All right, well, let's just go that. I know it's the opposite of what you're saying, but the chat are asking for Stu. He's got all his family here. We've got to do what the people want.
No, we've got to give it's family, man. We've got to give them what they ask. Like
we've got to give them what they want. We did the same thing up here. James Fuller managed to get all of his family into the chat one day, and we had to continually stream all his games. So that was what we do. We're the people of the people.
That's right. Still haven't had their secondaries put in either. A little bit disappointing, Stu. Maybe, need to sort that out. Pop a trainer. But looks like we've had at least one turn by the Grey Knights. They've done a little bit of a spread. Exactly what I thought was going to happen. Either the Terminators or the Pallies are staging behind that big ruin on the right-hand side of the table. And then it doesn't look like I can see many wounds having gone down. Looks like there is a wound marker on what I appear to be. There is a bottom unit behind the home objective for the Ultramarines. Are you able to see what's down there below that orange objective? Sorry, the orange terrain piece? Right now it's under a player, so probably not.
So I would say it'd be some intercessors, I would say.
Yeah.
That would be my guess.
Well, because I think what Stuart would want to do, he would want to start chewing the obsec down. Because he will have he doesn't have a lot of obsec himself, but his obsec is very durable when his opponent is not. But what is a bit awkward is that Paladins and Terminators don't hold up to these Redemptor fire. I can tell you from experience, being a guy who plays 3 Redemptors at the moment, 3 Redemptors will get close or kill 10 Paladins in one turn. Especially with Gilliman in support. You can't have it. You can't let them shoot them. The Paladins need to stay protected and insulated at all costs. And they're Psy Cannons. So you can go Strength 8 on Psy Cannons, to wound them on 3s, and you can go 2 damage at -2. So, but you wouldn't bother with the extra damage. All you want is the extra strength. So you wound on 3s. And then you want to just start chipping away at these Redemptors. As soon as you get 2 down, the Paladins start to become a powerful force again. But as long as there's 3 Redemptors up, you almost can't use them, apart from shooting.
Yeah, that's it. We might see Stu actually pipping away at that bottom left-hand unit, just so also he can get in behind the Ultramarines. With those Redemptors pushing up forward to the middle of the board, obviously, like you mentioned earlier, they're going to be sitting there and getting Oath. If Stu can get some deep strike and some stuff going on to that bottom left-hand corner, he might be able to get a bit of a hammer and anvil thing going on here.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think Stu would want to turn this into hammer and anvil. That, like I said, that terrain piece to the right of center is so good for Grey Knights. It is so incredibly good for Grey Knights. I can't oversell it enough. So yeah, 100% he will stage most of what he does behind there, and he will want to lure those Redemptors. If those Redemptors move one more turn forward at full 8, they will unfortunately be putting themselves in a pretty bad spot. Do you see what's in front of those Redemptors though? There is a single model in front of those Redemptors. One single model that looks like it's an assassin-sized model. I would not be surprised if that's a Calexis, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a game to have a pocket Calexis in as well. Good God. Good God.
Yeah, especially like you mentioned with the Ultramarines too. They've just got an abundance of CP everywhere. So Gilliman giving an extra 3. So I could see them having like at least 13 to start with and then racking them up from that. So they're looking at 20 plus CPs to use during this game. So that 2 CPs switch there isn't a problem for them at all.
I've just got my lovely secretary, Chelsea, has just gone to tell these guys to stop being slackers and put their secondaries in for us. Because
well done.
We only have half the picture. Until we have the secondaries, we don't really know how these guys are intending to play the game. But I can do some predictions for Stu. He's probably going to go while we stand. Do you know what his while we stands are? His Terminator Brom, his Pally Bomb, and Drago, which I think are quite good. Because I feel like he might have to use the Paladins or the Terminators this game. But I expect him to be able to keep one of those safe, and definitely can keep Drago safe if he wants to. So I expect him to be able to get about 10 there. He will scramble. He's built to scramble with some of his tech choices and things. And I'm not
100%.
sure. And I'm not sure what the third one might be. Yeah, but I definitely think he'll take those two. What do you think? You think that's about right? 100%. The
Yeah,
Ultramarines.
I think those two are definitely right. I don't see him taking Engage. I don't see him taking Banners really. I don't really see him taking Grind him down or anything like that. He's actually going to get rid of the Ultramarines too easily because those Redemptors aren't giving up enough points, and they're going to be very difficult to deal with that Tech Marine there.
Yeah, absolutely right. Custodes Terminator. So George, Custodes Terminators can cause Oromite, Adamantite for 1 CP to ignores AP 1 and 2. Chelsea just said hello, George.
George, why do you never come to events with me? We could hang out.
Stop. Yes, George, she is very lovely. So helpful and so nice. So we're just getting the second put in. Both boys took deploy scramblers. Interesting. I really did expect it from Stu. I thought the deploy the
and
they're
both taken while we stand.
I knew it. So while we stand is a little bit more interesting for the Ultramarines. So one of them will be the rowboat, which I think makes it pretty much always a good pick. The fact that you can have rowboat giving you 5 points at the end of the game is pretty awesome. What would the other two be, do you think?
Yep, having those Vitrix card there will help to keep them alive will be definitely useful.
So, and this is really awkward. So he has 1 unit of Inceptors. He's got a 5-man unit of Inceptors. That's his second choice. That is what Stu was shooting turn 1. That is what he was doing, man. He gated over. He went plus 6-inch range from the Litany, and he managed to get and kill 2 of those Inceptors turn 1. That was the unit that was in that ruin, man.
Yep.
Good job, Stu. Get rid of 2 of them. And now he can bomb over a unit and try and take them out later. Like, even if he just bombs over a unit of Purgators, that would be worth it. Give up the Silencer unit, take down... Yeah, that would be actually really big. The other one's going to be run at one of the Redemptors. But which one? You assume it's the back one, yeah?
Yeah, you would assume it's the one closest to the Tech Marine.
You assume it's the back one.
Whoever's holding hands with the Tech Marine.
Yeah, exactly right.
You would say it's that one.
Yeah, and that's pretty good. So that's a Redemptor that's going to get healed 3 wounds every turn. So kill it in one go or don't kill it at all. Very interesting. So while we stand is both looking pretty good. I did pick 2 for Stu. I was spot on. And Assassinate for Stu. That one's... Oh, no, sorry. Direct Assault. So that is the mission-specific one, yeah?
Yeah, so the mission would be Sweep and Clear then. I literally just clicked on it as you come up with it.
Fantastic.
So Sweep and Clear would be the mission for this one. Looking at a Spearhead, a Quarters Deployment, sorry. So yes, and Direct Assault would be the secondary for that score. 3 VPs if you control either the objective marker in the center of the battlefield or the objective marker in your deployment zone. So far all the streaming games that we've done where we've done Sweep and Clear, majority of people have taken Direct Assault. So it's a very favorable secondary. Just holding the middle.
Well, it's actually a bit rough for Stu to take that now. Like, I honestly will maybe question that. I do actually question James Beale taking Assassinate instead of Oath. Although you can't take while we stand and Oath, can you? I think they're in the same. Pretty sure they're in the same.
Stand and Oath. Yes, I think you're correct.
I would have taken Oath over while we stand in this one.
So that may also be why we've seen Stu Trainer go for that big deep strike in that bottom left-hand corner as well, because then he's holding that objective there. Yeah,
I think he does have some units back there. I believe that's where he's got a unit of Infiltrators, so he's not going to be able to jump back there. Also, he's got a unit of Assault Intercessors, and Infiltrators. I think that's the Infiltrators to the bottom of the Redemptors, so I expect it to be the Intercessors in the back, right in the back. I can't see the Assault Intercessors either. But yeah, he's definitely got 1 unit strung out at the bottom of the Redemptors. It would make all the sense of the world if that was the Infiltrators. Stu needs to get rid of those Infiltrators in quick order. Be a very good option for the Strength 6 -2 2-damage Storm Bolters to pick them up, get them out of the table, and then you can start threatening deep strikes all over the place. But that Calexis, man, it's actually a problem. Because that's going to be moving it next turn. It's going to move it advance right up Stu's grill.
Definitely is.
He's going to move it advance right up Stu's grill, and Stu's going to have some problems.
It looks like he might be more than 3 inches outside that Redemptor, though. Could just be me.
So, as in, what do you mean? You can shoot him?
Well, just to keep him as a bodyguard, yeah.
Nah, yeah, he's well and truly more than 3 inches out. I don't think he cares hitting him on 6s.
Do you think he's just using him as a bit of a bait there? Not too worried?
Yeah. Well, I would actually kill him if I was Stu. I'd get some silencers out, get him so they can just see him and maybe only be seen by like a Redemptor or maybe nothing, and then try.
I think you want to kill him definitely because otherwise he's just going to be nullifying the smites there. That's obviously why he's got him sitting out the front there.
He can't be there next turn. Next turn he gets a 7-inch move and an advance. He could possibly go 13 inches. That 8-inch bubble would be over his entire army, and then maybe he can't gate, can't do anything. Yeah. Really bad. He needs to get that guy down. So it was a very good call by James Earl to spend the 2 CP and swap that out. Could be game winning. We will see. We should go to our No Chill boys. We should check back in on the No Chill game.
We definitely should. We don't want to miss the end of it.
No, that's right. We're 50 minutes into this game, and these guys are almost freaking done. Interesting to see how many Virtus Praetors are still alive. There we go.
Well,
Comes
there's
up.
still 2 left. So
There's
that's
still
good.
2
That's
left.
good.
It looks like he did get charged by, both the captain and the Outriders went in. Lost 2 of the Outriders, it seems, which is pretty fair. That's probably likely to happen. Without the reroll charges, reroll wounds, maybe he could have not lost him. It also looks like he was able to pick himself out of combat. Is that what you saw as well?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, and also this is the problem that we're seeing a lot with that Telemon. So in the top right-hand corner, he's got that Telemon babysitting the objective.
Yeah.
It's obviously not going to die. It's got the neg one damage, and it's got a 4-up invo. It's got some 6-up feel no pain. But he needs that. Like that's really needs to be able to coming out of the corner there. That needs to be what tags that predator. So where
And by tags, you mean light it up, fire, shoot it, kill it.
Yeah, shoot it up. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, don't just mean like tag it as in give it a cuddle. I mean, actually get into it and
Yeah.
shoot it to pieces. So the way the terrain's set up on there, you can sort of using the road, sort of the dotted line that we have for the middle of the road there, you can see that he actually can't get line of sight to anything on the left-hand side of the table because those two bits of terrain are actually blocking everything. So again, like we saw with the Silent Killing in the previous game, that's 280 points just sitting around doing nothing. He needs to get that out of there and do some do some damage with it.
Yeah, exactly. Like almost 300 points, and it's not doing anything. I mean, he could theoretically get line of sight. Like there might be an angle where he gets line of sight on the Predator. I don't think so. What he would have to do is walk into that ruin and open it up. Get on the base of that ruin if it's got a base, or touch the wall, and then it becomes open. He can see through it. He can shoot the Pred. Whether he can do that and stay on the objective is a bit of a question because he doesn't want to leave it. And that's the risk when you take big things like Telemons. Because of how good this terrain is, though, things like Telemons can become a bit of a dead weight. But like at the same time, in the games where you need him, his clutch is all hell.
Well, he's up by 3 points at the moment, but it would have been good to see Tim hot shoe shuffle that Telemon as far as he could down to where they've got objective 2, that marker they've got for number 2.
Oh, yes,
it would have been nice to see him hot shoe shuffle. He's already holding 3 objectives, so he's holding 3. He's holding 5 in the center, and now he wasn't previously, but now he's actually got his bikes on the left hand side there.
Yeah.
So it would have been good to see him move that Telemon down, and that just opens up fire lanes to the whole table basically.
And also if you'll see the unit of Aquilin Custodes just picked up 3 Outriders. Just picked them up. They are gone. Aquilin,
nice.
Aquilins are still so very, very, very strong, guys. If you don't have any,
so
get some.
We haven't gone through the secondaries yet, so let's have a look through the secondaries. Looking at Tim Grant's, the first one there is very interesting to me.
Yeah, dude.
Linebreaker.
You see what he's done, though? You see what's in his back line?
Yeah, he definitely has. He's got that Terminator captain on the bottom left-hand side there. So he's dropped him down there to match up with the bikes.
And
so that'll be able to get him 4 points per turn.
And his Collector's Assassin. No, he's got a Collector's Assassin that it says in combat with that other unit of Outriders. You see it?
Oh, yeah, true. I see
it.
I
spotted him before. So, dude, great play.
Yeah, nice.
Great play. Well, unfortunately, this was something that happened. The Custodes came out and postured up on the other side of that objective, so the other side of the middle terrain piece, so hard, every single Marine's asset had to be used. And because of that, he left his backfield open, and he's just been like, deep strike, 4 points. Very strong.
Yep. And now we're seeing him charge into those Outriders there.
And he will butcher them. He will kill 2, probably. I don't know if he kills 3, but he definitely kills 2. Looks like we've had an underused ability there of that Colexis is that the fight last. So 2 CP you can make units fight last, which is big. But also a lot of people don't remember that it actually completely ignores armor saves. So it's not neg 4, it's not neg 5, it just completely ignores armor saves. So while it's only toughness 4 and he's winning on 5s, everyone that get through is really going to be doing some damage. Yeah, absolutely right. And if you'll see, the Virtus Praetors must have been out of combat because they've just charged back into that single Outrider who is going to be kaput in short order. Man, absolutely no chill on Tim Grant.
This is a fast, damage-full game.
No chill.
These boys are getting stuck right in.
He's going to be getting double. He's going to be getting 6 points on direct assault. Is it 5 points on direct assault for holding both the middle and your opponents?
Yes, yeah, he's holding both of them there, so that'll be the 5 points.
He's got it, man.
So he's going to max out on that in a couple of turns.
Yep.
While we stand, we're looking at the Telemon, probably those Aquilins.
Yes.
And obviously the bikes. So he needs to be able to keep those bikes alive.
I don't think there's, apart from the chap you're killing him, there's no
problem. The chaplain's just gone.
No, the chaplain is the one above. That was an Outrider.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, the Outrider's just turned his bike around. He's gone home. He's not being part of this anymore. So he's looking pretty comfortable on the while we stand there as well.
Yeah, exactly right. I think he's quite comfortable at this point, which is really weird to say 50 minutes into a game that this one's pretty cinched up, but unfortunately it is overwhelming force by the Custodes. Just to wrap up the secondaries
Tim
for
Grant
Troy.
doesn't muck around, does he?
No, he's no at all. Just to wrap it up for Troy Williams, engaged in all fronts. Usually a very good choice. He's teched in to get a lot of points from that with Outriders, but just the swamp by the Custodes is going to hold him in place.
Yeah, problem is you need models to actually score those points.
Oaths of Moment, I probably wouldn't have taken this one. But seeing as you took direct assault as well, he can double down and get 5 points a turn from those two, which is really nice. But thinking you're going to do that against this Custodes army might have been a mistake. But honestly, in all hindsight, you couldn't have known how hard he was going to go turn 1. But the thing is, with a terrain piece that's as good as the one that's in the middle, the Custodes have no risk by moving up. There is no risk. The only thing that was going
That is what I was going to point out. It'd be obviously I can't see it from here, but the line of sight or even that's obscuring through that actual standard piece of terrain. I think you were playing on these tables yesterday. So you'd be able to tell us, Adam.
Every middle piece
can
of
they
terrain.
see through that?
No, every middle piece of terrain is obscuring. Every single one. Couldn't see through it. Right. Can't shoot through it. Can't do nothing. So, hence, yeah, it's just pretty damn good for the Stodes, man. Pretty damn good.
Yeah, nice. I'm loving it.
All right, we could probably come back to this one in like 10 more minutes and it'll be absolutely over. What do you guys want to see? Is anything in the chat we haven't responded to? Let's just have a quick gaze.
We didn't say hello to Julie Trainer. Another person cheering on.
Yeah, lovely. That's so good. That's so lovely. Man, I just love the community. I love people's families getting involved, rooting each other on. We will go and we will have a quick gaze back at the Dark Angels Sisters game. We haven't been there in a little while. Let's have a see what's changed there, because I can tell you not much has changed. Because the Dark Angels are so slow and the Sisters don't want to commit too hard too early. So, but we
have seen a bit of a shuffle. We haven't seen much, but we have seen a bit of a shuffle. The Repentia there have moved around out of line of sight. We were a bit worried there they were going to chew through. Maybe they have chewed through some actually, because the top right near the watchtower, which you mentioned, there seems to be a lot less Repentia there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's 3 mortifiers behind that again. I can't see a lot of Sisters on the table actually. We have had a bit of a camera bump.
Yeah.
So it could be a case of everything's behind the left on the top of that blue building on the right hand side there.
Yeah, absolutely right. So this was a this was a Vanguard deployment, wasn't it? 5 objectives Vanguard deployment.
Spear. There's 5. So the quarters deployment. So the top right-hand side and the bottom left-hand side.
Yeah. So he's actually spread pretty hard. I can see a unit of Sisters of Battle up in the top left-hand corner there that's being preyed upon by some multi-melter attack bikes. So, yeah, it looks like he has spread across to the top left-hand corner pretty significantly, and he's staging to go into the bottom right-hand corner as well. So it's more like this has turned into a hammer and anvil, but the issue is it's a hammer and anvil, and it's just a thing that's going to heavily favour the Marine player. Like,
it's going to be very difficult for the Sisters to come in and actually nudge those Terminators.
Yeah, exactly right. There's one unit of Terminators that's obviously in reserve from what I can tell. I can only see a unit of 10 on the table. And you had the two attack bike squads are both Raven Wing, so they can deploy the other 10-man pretty much whenever he wants. There is also the option that he's split into a 10-man and a 5-man. It's actually one of my favorite things to do when you take a 10-man Deathwing Terminator unit, split it and take 2 Cyclones, you split it into 2 units, one unit with 3 Storm Shields and 2 Cyclones to be a shooting unit to sit quite defensively. It'd be very hard to pick up. And then 1 unit with 2 Storm Shields and 3 Twin Lightning Claws. I really like that combination. I think it's a very good spread, and you get a lot of mileage, a lot of work out of that when you combat squad it. And combat squatting is one of the best. It's actually one of the best things the Space Marines have at the moment. It's so powerful. Tell us about these secondaries, though. We haven't touched on them yet, but what are your thoughts so far?
All right, so let's start off with Neil Phillips of the Dark Angels. He's gone for engage on all fronts. He's gone for deploy scramblers, and he's gone for direct assault, which is the mission secondary. Engage on all fronts. I like that. He's definitely got a bit of, like you mentioned that he's slow, but he does have a couple of like attack bikes and whatnot just to poke out onto different quarters to help him maintain and at least get the 10. So I could see him at least getting the 10, if not 11 or 12 around engage on fronts. Deploy scramblers, that's an easy option for him. I'm liking that as well. Even though he's going to have some of his bigger units performing it. I think that's still fine. And direct assault, like we know, he's just going to be sitting on that, getting 3 a turn on the center. So that's definitely a good pick as well.
Yeah, I agree. So the only one I would have put in there would have been Oath, because it's broke. Yep. In this mission, it's broke, because you can take direct assault and Oath, and versus this army, you're going to be like, you're not getting me off that middle. I'm going to get 5 points every turn, man. You're just not going to do it. So, and with the mortifiers, you have so many ways to proc that 1 vehicle kill to get that extra point that I feel like it's almost close to 4 points every turn, which puts a hell of a lot of pressure. Because, 3 of those turns, is very reliable to do, and it's just going to happen. You're not going to fall back. You're going to max that on turn 3 and just put a huge amount of scoring pressure on your opponent. There's no way the Sisters can let that happen and expect to win the game. But yeah, he didn't take oath, so never heard of you. Don't even know it. It's fine. Engage on all fronts is an interesting pick by the Dark Angels. Like, what does he have to really spread out and get engaged? I mean, he's got the attack bikes, but the attack bikes actually aren't that good. As long as the mortifiers stay hidden, the attack bikes can't do much. But I actually have a quick look at the rest of his list. Maybe some tech choices we've missed here, some little small units. 2 attack bikes, 2 big Terminator bombs, the 3 small Terminator units, Ravenwing, Talonmaster, Azrael, Deathwing Ancient. That's it. No, he hasn't got any little squads. Engage on all fronts doesn't seem like a crazy good pick for that army. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I'm really scratching my head on that one. Maybe it's down wrong and he's got Why We Stand in something instead. Because that would at least be a reason why he didn't take oath.
Yeah, it's a very, very good option. Sorry, it was a very good point there that it may not be the best option. So let's go over Nick Wright's there with the Adeptus Sororitas. So the primary, he's gone with While We Stand, We Fight. He's gone with Domination. And he's gone with Raid the Banners.
So While We Stand, We Fight. So he's got his mortifiers are 180 points for the 3 of them, which I think is the most expensive. Yeah. Maybe the Retributors.
Looking through his list now, the only thing I think is St. Catherine. So St. Catherine's 195.
Yeah, so it's the Triumph and 2 units of mortifiers. So he's already made a value judgment there and saying the mortifiers aren't worth using this game. They're just not going to do it. I wonder if that's true. I wonder if someone in the chat who's got a bit of time up their sleeves, probably George, let's admit it, and wants to run the math on 3 mortifiers into 10 Deathwing Termies that have 4 Storm Shields apiece. Run the math there. I would love to know what the over-under is on how many they get killed. It will be swingy, of course, with the 5+ Feel No Pain. Oh, sorry, 5 Storm Shields. Yuck. Yeah. It's going to be bad. But I feel like they kill like 4, maybe 3 Storm Shields, depending how wonky it gets. But yeah, man, I would love to know what the over/under is on that, because maybe Nick's done the math and it's just like there's no chance I can send 3 guys in. They're just going to get wholly eaten.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm just going through the secondaries of Nick there. The Domination one's very interesting as well.
Yeah,
and so is Raise the Banners.
Raise the Banners, not so much. This is actually a good one to play defensively on Raise the Banners, because your opponent is going to, you think your opponent's going to take direct assault and they're a slow plotting army. You sit back, raise on 2 banners, hold them down, get 10 points. It's actually good. It's actually not too bad. It's essentially...
But do you think you're able to play that conservative when you know that your opponent's going to be sitting on 3 objectives? That Deathwing army that we've got here is definitely going to be sitting on 3 objectives. You'll be chasing them on primary. Mm-hmm. Are you happy just sitting back on getting Razor Banners on 5 to 12 points? He
has to sling. Well, he does. I don't think he had a better option, to be honest, against this army. What else do you pick? I think that's the beauty of these Deathwing armies. They are just blood out of stone. There's no good options to pick. I mean,
that's definitely true.
Yeah, a steady 10 points dripping in every turn is probably better than going for scramblers and failing to do it, because you get cut off by attack bikes and things like that.
Scramblings isn't a super good option though. That's true.
Yeah. So maybe he's just made a value judgment to be like, man, Raise the Banners is just better. But I think if you took Scramblers and Raise the Banners... Can you take Scramblers, Raise the Banners? I think you can. I think that would have been better, because Domination just... I feel like he could end up with a donut for Domination, man, and that could be really game-losing.
Well, in the chat there, Eric has pointed out that he's answered your question, the human math machine that he is. He's pointed out that they kill 2 Terminators. It's
disgusting. They're so disgusting, man. They're so disgusting. 1-up save... winning him on a 4+, and having having a 4+ invul and 5+ Feel No Pain. Just freaking yuck. Maybe I need to buy some more, but I don't wanna. It feels bad.
So just based off that, looking at Nick's game, then he's obviously taking a lot of defensive secondaries. We know he's not going to be using his mortifiers. He's not going to be coming out and attacking the Deathwing, because he just doesn't have the firepower or the combat abilities to do so. We're going to see a very conservative game here from him. How do you see him catching up on the primary there? So looking at Nick's secondaries for a sec, engage on all fronts, you said that. So I'm thinking he's going to get like 9 to 10 there, which is actually going to equal out the banners. So Scramblers, we're looking at another 10.
Oh, sorry, for the Dark Angels.
Yeah, so just looking at, if we go through just the matchup here, looking at Neil's, I can see him getting at least 30 on secondaries.
So deploy Scramblers is not engage on all fronts and deploy Scramblers. I can't see them being good options for him. He's a slow, plodding army. I don't know how he's going to get more than 10 for each of those. Well, sorry, 10. He either gets 0 or 10 for scramblers, but he doesn't have.
Yep.
What good scrambler options does he have? I mean, assumedly he could have a couple of units of the 2-mans in reserve. He could be deep striking those down to get his scramblers. Absolutely would work 100 times out of 100. But if you're playing into a defensive MSU Sisters army, man, it actually is quite easy to stop you from getting into that deployment zone by turn 3, and then it's a non-event. You have to run. You have to move in advance up one of your 10-mans to try and do it. So it's pretty rough. But yeah, so on the secondary front, I think there's going to be one I lost on literally direct assault versus While We Stand. As those are the two that are going to equal each other out, and then it's just going to be the primary game. Domination is going to be pretty low for the Sisters, even though they have scored 3 points for it. So he has. You see where I said he made a play up into the top left. He's probably using Miracle Dice to get a big advance from unit of Sisters, take away the top left objective. How many turns of the game he can do that is up for debate. He's going to be seeding those 3 points from domination every turn to essentially the 3 points from direct assault. So he's probably like, if we break even there, it's good enough. Then, if he gets 10 points from Raise the Banners and 15 from While We Stand, that's a really good score for Nick. But mind you, he needs to keep getting domination. Domination is actually the most important one of what he's chosen. I do like what he's doing right now.
I think he's going to start falling behind on the primary.
Yeah, exactly right. I do like what he's doing. Well, as long as he's getting domination, he's not falling behind on the primary. But I do like what he's doing with banners. If he can just get 10 points on banners, he could be in a really good position. And like you said, if this Deathwing unit army has barely moved, and maybe it's only been 1 turn. Of the opinion, it's probably been almost 2 turns, and they've barely moved. They need to move 5 inches every single turn. Every single turn, they need to move 5 inches. And when I see players consistently not doing that, I worry for my Dark Angels compatriots.
He literally has those Deathwing Terminators falling in a circle around that middle objective.
An inner circle. Nick, well done. Michael Swain, the save and invulns are bad enough, but why do they get a 5 at Feel No Pain as well? I agree. They shouldn't have to be. They shouldn't have Permatuned Transhuman and the 5 at Feel No Pain. Heading on 3s, winning on 4s, 3+ saves, 5+ invuln saves. They won't get 3+ invuln saves. I think they're -3 on the. I think -3 in combat, so it would take them to the 4+ on the Storm Shields. So, yeah. So he kills 2. Yeah, I assumed it would kill somewhere between 2 and 4, depending. Yeah, rough. Okay, we're gonna jump over to the Stuart. We're gonna give it a little bit of Stuart family service. Jump over to the Stuart trainer game.
The correct answer we're finding there is not enough. The mortifiers do not kill enough to.
Yes, nowhere near friggin' enough. Jump over to the Stuart trainer game. We'll have a little bit of an update on the state of play here. It should be popping up for you guys momentarily.
Oh, we're seeing he's brought a lot of his GKs out there.
So I can tell you right now, he's lost his Rhino. The Rhino has been taken out. It's probably all the Redemptors going in there, and that's probably the right call. Get those guys onto the table. Maybe you kill 1 or 2 in the explosion. That Colexus needs to go. I'd be really keen to see what Eric's thoughts of this. Eric is he's the Grand Master. He's like pretty much undefeated with Grey Knights across 2 editions. I'd like to know how significant that Colexus is going to be for the GKs. Does he need to kill it? And if he kills it, what's the most efficient way to do it? Can't smite it. Shooting it's bad. Charging it's bad. Do you just have to sacrifice a unit of Purgators and just proc a bunch of D3 damage onto it to get through? We do have either a Deep Strike or a Gate coming in. The issue, so one of the issues here is, you can't really tell which one of these is the Terminators, which ones is the Paladins. So that is always a bit frustrating because they're the same models, guys. So those following along at home.
Are they the same number in unit? Are they both 10-man?
Yes, they are both 10-mans.
That doesn't help us.
One of them only has Storm Bolters though. So the only one we're going to be able to tell the difference is how many staves and if we can see any like Psy Cannons on any of the models. I feel like I can see a Psy Cannon. I'm going to go out on a limb. I think the right-hand unit of Termis is the Paladins. Firstly, in my heart, I want him to be because I don't want him to be throwing away that unit in the bottom and have that be his Paladins, which are just going to get numbed by the rest of his army. But if you'll see, he's done a really good thing here. Those Terminators, I'm assuming the Terminators, are going to be shooting into those Plasma Inceptors. If they've got any side of meaningful buff, if he's in the tide of Daka, he'll pick them up. That's 5 points off While We Stand. That's one of his best anti-marine units off the table. Admittedly, his whole army is good anti-marine, so we'll see what shakes out in the wash, but I'm a really big fan of that. What are your thoughts here, man?
Yeah, it's good to see Stu getting a bit stuck in here. I like to see a bit of an aggressive play. I like his deployment down there for that deep strike there.
You're jealous? You're jealous, Nick? I got a super duper.
Oh, I am jealous of that, actually. I am jealous. All right, so in the chat, we've had a message from Eric. If he just uses +1 to hit, he blows up the assassin when it presents itself. So Eric obviously is not worried about the Colexus at all there.
So
and
Eric,
he is cheering on Stu.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know if you noticed yet, but he spent 2 CP to swap out to the Colexus, which I think was the right call. If you're playing against Grey Knights and you have the option to get the Colexus, you take the Colexus. But yeah, I was of the opinion with the +1 to hit and a unit of Purgators with the 4 silencers, you pull him down pretty well. Hitting on 6s, it's a bit shaky, but the +1 to hit makes it pretty manageable. It used to be that like he ignored all modifiers and you could only snap shoot at him, so it didn't matter if you had pluses to hit or anything, because snap shoot was its own rule. But yeah, actually pretty saucy. He's going to be putting some buffs up. His bunch of shooting. I'd love to see him. Oh, we've just had a gate. Sorry. So it was a true deep strike what the Terminators were doing. We just had a gate from what I assume is the Paladins. They're going to probably posture up on the left-hand side. No, it's going... Yeah, I assumed it was in the upper left, but no, he's just going to stage up above there. Interesting positioning. He's putting himself in front of the Redemptors. I'm not sure why you would want to do this or do such a thing. Maybe they've
Eric's pointing out that you can only +1 on the Terminator units.
Oh, of course. Apologies, mate. Yeah, you're absolutely right. George is of the opinion Assassin should have a feel no pain or something for 100 points. Yeah, it's actually rough that for what they are for 100 points. Because literally, like what the Vindicare is useless. The Eversaw is only good in certain metas. The Calidus is only good, but she's 100. You're taking 100 points of a tech choice, like 100 points of just messing with your opponent. And the Colexus, yeah, like we said, is only good in certain matchups. So I don't believe they're worth 100 points anymore.
From memory, I think maybe it's the Eversaw. One of them does have a feel no pain on the 4-up. I think it's the Eversaw, but it's a strat. It costs a CP.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a strat. Are these the Pallies or are these the Terminators? Now that he's done this with them, I want these to be the Terminators. I don't want the Paladins to be out there like that. Just like you know what 3 Redemptors with plasma cannons will do to the Paladins, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's probably why he's got him hidden as much as he can behind that terrain as well. But they're still exposed. They're still going to be seen. One little shuffle from those Redemptors in the middle, which is what he wants to do anyway to help get direct assault. And yeah, he's going to be able to lay some plasma cannons down onto them.
Yeah, and those are his while we stand. So is he sacrificing a while we stand to get a while we stand? That probably just means he thinks he's going to win the primary, which is not a bad call. Like, one of the things I will say for Grey Knights, they are a very flexible army. They can do a lot of different things all the time. So end of the game, he's in a very good position to grab a lot of points. And I believe he went second. Is that true?
I think we saw the GK player go first. I believe that's the current case. I think we saw Stu have the first turn.
Yeah, you might be right. So little happened turn 1.
Just from memory.
Yeah, so little to happen turn 1. I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure
sometimes it is a bit difficult to know.
With 3 games, you lose track of it at times. But yeah, he's just measuring all... I think he's just measuring all his bits. Yeah, he is. He's going for the termies. He's going to try and pop the Colexus. Needs to get him down. This is pretty much what I said. I said, like, if the Colexus can't survive another turn. He is going, and he was measuring if he was outside of 18 for a cast. He just rolled a 10 for whatever that is. So there's nothing that he has in the game, none of his powers that will...
He's getting that off.
Yeah, there's none of his powers that will stop, except for Vortex. And I doubt he cast a Vortex. So he's just trying to figure it out.
Those. I think they're the assault intercessors there. Is that the assault
They
intercessors?
do look like assault intercessors, don't they? So I will assume that the infiltrators are either in a ruin that we can't see, or they're in his deployment zone.
There is something in the top left-hand side. There's some bases sitting underneath that ruin, under that balcony out there.
I had a bit of assumption that was possibly Stewie's units of... Sorry, he does have 2 units of servitors, I believe. Let me just confirm that for you guys.
Okay, so the bottom right near that red building there was obviously 2 of them.
Yes,
possibly.
I was assuming that was going to be servitors doing... So he's got 1 unit of 4 servitors, apologies. It's probably strikes in the bottom right-hand corner. And he probably just needed to have
some in
one...
the building, you think?
Yeah, some in the building, some on the other side to be on that objective. So yeah, that's probably what that is. He's got 2 units of 5 strikes, so it could be another unit in the top left-hand corner as well. But it's only turn 2, so he's done a deep strike and a gate this turn, so he couldn't have done a deep strike and a gate last turn, is the thing. So I'm not sure what's in the top left-hand corner. It could be the infiltrators.
Yeah, it could be, yep. Yeah, let's have a look at the base colours. Very similar base colours, so it's difficult to determine from base colours which army this belongs to. That Colexus is still there. That's hanging out in the middle there. So
yeah,
we actually haven't seen anything being removed from the table this turn.
Well, I think that was rolling saves. And
it looks like it. So we're about to see. Yep. So it's the assault intercessors that are being targeted.
Yeah. I'm guessing they're being targeted with Yeah, looks like he did 3 wounds. So
Is
he
the
picked up.
unit of purifiers that are up in the top right there? Is that what he's shooting with?
Yes, he'll have 2 units of purifiers up in the top right now. Because they had to get out of the Rhino. Although I see a whole unit of 5 and then a couple of singles, so maybe he lost a few on the disembark, or he had a few shot by some missed shooting from the Redemptors. Admittedly, like one Redemptor probably kills a Rhino or comes very close, depending on the D6 roll. So yeah, who quite knows? I believe this will be the rest of the Stormbolters going into the Collectors. He probably just did the first couple that were in range to go into the Intercessors, just to get him out of the way. So this should be hitting on 5s and 6s, but he's re-rolling for everything from Drago. So he's almost guaranteed to get this guy down in reality. So it's pretty damn reliable. He's actually hitting on 3s there. Interesting. Is this not a Colexis?
He's obviously not going at the Colexis.
Unless we've never heard of it, Adam, and you don't know what you're talking about. Both quite likely.
It'd be highly unlikely that he's kept the Calidus and left the Calidus out the front like that.
Yeah.
That would be very unlikely.
Dude, yeah, really, really weird. No, he's shooting. Looks like he's... No. I actually am trying to figure out what he's doing. It was a lot of shots.
I think he's just ignoring the Colexis. It could be a case that he's not aware that he could hit it on 5s.
Yeah, that is a possibility as well. I would not like to be that reality. He has to go this turn. Unless he's... I don't think the greenery is giving anything, guys. I think it's just there because it looks nice. I think it's just there because it looks nice. It could be forests. It could genuinely be being played as forests. There is a little mat, description mat, but beside each table, which is an amazing thing this event has done, that describes what every piece of terrain is and all the keywords attached to it. So you always have an easy reference sheet available when you need it.
Then in a few of the other previous games, Adam, we've seen the Silent King floating around not doing much. We've seen some people, the Telemon, not doing much.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen with the big Bobby G? He's in the same boat here. He's 350, 380 points. He's obviously a combat monster. He's a shooting monster. He's a buff monster. He can do everything in the game. How do you feel that James is going to get him involved in the game?
Well, so the thing is, like, as long as he's getting into the middle, as long as he's contesting the objective, as soon as he gets the middle, as soon as he gets mid-board domination, the Redemptors can start to split up. Bobby G can probably, at that point, just rush into the Grey Knight deployment zone with, like, 2 Redemptors, leave the one at the while we stand with 5 points on the home one with the Tech Marine, and just dive in. Like, because there isn't a unit. I mean, admittedly, maybe a full unit of Paladins kills Gilliman, but they do not kill a Redemptor as well, let alone 2 Redemptors. So it would be a case of Paladins and Drago versus 2 Redemptors and Gilliman, and I think 2 Redemptors and Gilliman win that.
Yeah, he can't get the reroll anymore, but he still has the ability to get back up as well on a 4-up, which is beneficial. I wonder if the unit of Terminators or Paladins that we've seen down the bottom, if they're a bit of a bait to try and draw Gilliman and maybe those...
Try and break up the castle, yeah,
units.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe bring them away. So
yeah.
I like just if you was to just drop off Gilliman now and just to put him into that unit, maybe those Inceptors that are there on the left-hand side as well, if they're to drop off, I feel like they would just get stuck there, and that would not benefit James's game at all.
Yeah,
so it could be a bit of a play here by Stu to try and drag some of the key elements of James's army away from the center and start to be able to pick him apart.
Yeah, absolutely right. The stream has just paused for me.
You paused.
Never mind.
For me, it's still going.
I paused my stream. I clicked on it because it's YouTube. But yeah, so never mind.
Oh, we've got some more Stu followers in here. Mark Hipworth is keen. He wants some more Stu action.
Oh, dude, Marky boy, welcome to the stream. Happy to have you, dude. If you're following on at home, please let us know where you're from, where you hail, what are you doing with your day, what are you working on, what are you playing, and who you're rooting for, apart from Stuart Traynor, of course. And Ashley Cross, the People's Champion. Ashley Cross, sorry.
Here we go. Mark is Stu's uncle.
Fantastic. So we have the whole Traynor clan involved. This is actually pretty cute. I like it. But yeah, Stu Traynor is the streams champion, and Ashley Cross is the People's Champion for this event so far. We'll see whose cuisine reigns supreme at the end. I'll Chairman Cargo take a bite out of a cactus. Yeah, I haven't seen... So the Colexis hasn't gone down. I haven't seen a significant amount of firepower or wound rolls being done into much. So we should have some piece-hitting Stormbolters going into the Assault Intercessors. Looks like it's just going to gun down on some obsec while he can. He didn't kill the assassin. Didn't kill the assassin. Hasn't put any notable wounds on the Redemptor. What did all that shooting do, man? He rolled a full 40-ish looking dice. It looks like he's adding up another.
Yeah, I'm not thinking any dice depth to things. We've seen one assault intercessor go down. To be fair, it's an Ultramarine assault intercessor, so one Ultramarine is worth about, I don't know, 20 normal Space Marines. Just being a beautiful Ultramarine that it is.
Oh, you're so wrong. Fair enough. You pump up those brakes. You pump up those tires. You boring man. You have Cato Sicarius. Like any good you could have done is just negated by having Cato Sicarius in your chapter.
Oh man, don't get me started. Let's start talking about Uriel Ventress. Let's get this Ultramarine fanboy going on.
Oh dude, the bowl cut himself, Ventress. Tragic head on that bad boy. Everything else is sick though. Yeah. Just give him a helmet and he's awesome. I'll still be
getting that model for sure.
Yeah, just give him a sick helmet.
Just like everything, just put an aggressive model on it. Oh, here we go. Michael Swain. He has gone out. Stu is the people's champion. He's outfit himself. We're at $2.50.
Swain. Dude, so good. Lament Config. Cool name. South Alabama checking in. That is so good. Thank you for joining us, my man. What do you play? What are you working on? And what kind of list or factions are you excited for? Sickosaurus. Sickosaurus. Michael Swain, dude, thank you so much. You've donated $25 now. Really appreciate you, dude. Like send me a PM. I want to give you a high five and have a chat. Thank you so much. Slide right into my DMs. For $25, you too can slide into my DMs. Rough. Shilling for the Lord.
All right, just keeping this on track here. Matt Dye, he is an Ultramarine player and not a fan of the list yet, but Bobby G is an auto-include. Well, you stay tuned, Matt Dye, and you can tell us at the end of this game whether you're still a fan of this list or not, because this is an extremely competitive GK list being piloted around by one of the best players in Victoria. Am I not correct there?
Yes, well, dude, best players Victoria because he was so active during the downtime. Like everyone else is sitting on their laurels and just being like, oh yeah, it's kind of boring out here, doing nothing. Stu was crushing it on TTS, refining his list, learning his skills, and doing really well. This is shooting in the Colexus, by the way. He's pulling out only the 6s, so he doesn't know about the 1CP strat, or he doesn't know he needs to do it. Or he didn't want to waste a CP, but this is the shots going in. Hopefully they're 2 damage shots because he's in the right tide. And hopefully he only needs to fail 3 of these 6 4+ invulnerable saves to take out this guy. Looks like at least 2 fails. So he's only taken 4 wounds, man. That's if he had 2 damage on him as well. So yeah, it doesn't look like the Colexus is going down at this time. He did pick up the Inceptors. The Inceptors are gone. That bottom unit did pick them up wholesale. So I'm assuming that was that unit shooting, half into the Colexus, half into the unit of Plasma Inceptors. There was only 2 or 3 left in that unit. So if they were the fully pumped up strength 6 minus 2 damage guys, would not need many to kill that unit. But yeah, that is 5 points on While We Stand. Denied, Mr. James Beale.
So what do we think James is going to do here? Because he's going to have to be able to deal with that unit in the bottom center that's now just coming to near his deployment zone. And again, we don't want to be able to use those Redemptors to come down. He doesn't want to be able to send Gilman down there. He cannot shoot them dead. So yes, he can shuffle to the right a bit, but he's not going to get all 3 Redemptors in there. And he's going to have to break up that castle that he's got there. And that castle that he has there is actually what he's going to need to win the game.
Exactly right. So Stu is actually putting a lot of pressure on him territorially. He's in the bottom right-hand corner. Yes. Now he's in the bottom middle. He's in the top right-hand corner as well, and he's dominant on all those fronts. The bottom right-hand corner is pretty much locked up for Stu. If that is 5 strikes in there, 3 of them in cover, nothing he has short of a Redemptor shooting into there is going to clear them off. And that is actually legitimately the best thing he should do. Pick up those guys, deny that primary for Stu, make him put another unit over there, and then everything moves up into the right, into predominance, shoots down as much as they can, and then you need to get a charge. There's a unit of 3 Marines, you can see, I think that's a unit of Purgators sitting to the right of the Colexus. You leave them alive, and they are your leverage point from which to charge the Redemptors and get deeper in. So you essentially get a double move this turn. So move up 8 inches to the upper right, keep on your train going diagonally up, shoot down into the bottom and the bottom right-hand corner, clear as many of the Terminators and that strike unit, charge into the Purgators, leverage up and start slingshotting in. But don't expose Bobby G. The last thing you want to do is have a full unit of Pallies and Drago going into Bobby G, or the Grey Knights changing into the tide of 2 damage smites and just smiting him dead. and then letting him get up in the end of the phase and killing him again, which is what will happen if he lets him get smited. Cannot let that happen.
We're seeing Stu now make a combat in there. It looks to be into the Colexus. He's got a bunch of Purigators, I believe.
It's also a really good, a couple of Purgators. It's only got 2 wings left by my assumption if it was the 2 damage Storm Bolters. So look, you probably go for it. The best thing you can do there is get in the way of the Redemptors, cost him a couple of inches of movement with your piles and you consolidate, wall off and keep them back. And also, like I just said, they can't be used as a leapfrog for the charge anymore. So good job by Stu. Hopefully getting 2 birds with 1 stone. Damn, if he kills him, if he kills the Colexus, this is a magical move. And it's also denying primary.
Definitely is. I'm hoping James remembers in his back pocket that he has the ability to make Stu fight last on one of those units. So being Ultramarines, he's got an abundance of CP there. I'd like to see him spend the 2 CP
dude,
to make one of those units fight last so that he can at least wipe out that smaller unit.
Dude, you seen what I'm saying? That unit was the Purifiers. It's his 8-man Purifier unit.
On the top there?
That's gone into the middle. It wasn't 3 Purgators. It's his 8-man Purifiers.
Ah, right.
With all staves. Hopefully sanctuaried. Hopefully going to wrap off the Colexus. And hopefully with a 2+ invulnerable save. Stewie. Good. Wow, that was a big charge. He just made a 9-inch charge with the Paladins as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming in the center of the table there. So that's not looking good for Direct Assault. I mean, it is looking good for Direct Assault, I'm sorry, for Stu. So that's good for him.
Eric, are you proud? That's good. Julie Trainer Stu, your bro's watching as well. Said go kick some. Lament Config, Dark Elder player building a Sanctum Strata, sorry. Cool to see live 40k tournament coverage. Dude, thank you so much. Happy to be joining us as well. Please feel free to keep giving us updates on what you're doing, what you're excited about. Quinton Riley, Auckland, New Zealand, checking in. My boy Quinton, thank you so much for joining us. Forge Becker is from Newcastle, Australia. He's checking in. Is that the thing? Yes, it is. Hammers High. Is Gilliman going to be another Silent King this game? Possibly. No, he won't. Because Gilliman is the only guy in this army that can actually legitimately kill something that has a 2+ invulnerable save. Because he can do the D3 mortal wounds off the big swing. The 6 to wound on the Emperor's Sword. He's the only thing that can really proc some mortal wounds and get through those invulnerable saves. The other thing, he's got Tiggy, who can try and lay down a smite, hopefully, but he's in deny range, of course, and he will be in range of being denied too if the Collector survives, which he shouldn't. But dude, big play by Stu, man. I'm really stoked with this play. I think it's really strong.
Hopefully we're going to see some Nullzome action from Tigerius here.
Oh, surely if you're the Grey Knight player, you spend a CP and deny 3d6, yeah? Surely you cannot let Nullzome go off.
You got it.
That is just oh, jeez, no chance.
Especially in the big mess of the center that it is.
I'm interested that Stewie is trying to kill this Colexus. I maybe would not have tried to kill it. I would have maybe tried to wrap. But I think with the pile in now, he piles in the piles in the Paladins first, good. And now he has a 6-inch move with the Purifiers, yeah? And he can just wall off dead set right in front, 1 inch away from the Redemptors. Yeah, just 1 inch away, brother. All you need to do, stop them up. They can't get the objective, can't do much. Very strong play by Stu. Very strong play.
Mark is asking us that he can't read scores. So where is the game at? Right now, there are no scores put up into this at the moment.
They're being
not sure the boys aren't doing it as we go.
I'll get our lovely enforcer, Chelsea, to go give him a kick up the wazoo at the end of this turn. No stress yet. End of this turn.
Now, this may be the unpopular opinion there, Adam, but is it possible to see the very probably last minutes of that Custodes versus Dark Angel army?
You are not wrong. I'll show you it. You'll see it come up in a second.
All right, so Lonely Koi is smashing out some painting out a bunch of Night Lords for the start of a WA tournament scene. Yeah, nice, man.
It should be coming up any second now, man. Right
yep, I can see it there. It's a lovely game.
It's a lovely game.
It's a lovely game.
It's a lovely game. My God. So
let's run through the scores because that's all we've got. Tim Grant playing the Adeptus Custodes has come up with a massive win here, 85-35 against Troy's Adeptus Astartes.
I would like to point out just what the hell, guys. Calm your farm. That was under an hour and 20 minutes that they cleaned up in. Under an hour and 20 minutes from start to finish.
let's just hope that Tim doesn't continue in this vein because we're not going to get much streaming action going on.
No.
And we're going to have to make sure we're getting 3 tables at all times and not just the one.
That's right.
Because Tim is just too fast.
Wowee. I will apologise, guys. We were away for, what, 10 minutes? And that 10 minutes, the last 2 turns of the game occurred. Yeah, phenomenal. So running down those scores, 40 for primary. Didn't max primary, which is actually interesting. I would have assumed he would have locked that up. Line breaker, 12 points. So for 3 turns. While we stand, he got 10. Looks like he must have ended up losing the bikes most likely. I couldn't see him losing. He had 4.
The Talamon.
He had 4. Yeah, full Talamon. And he had 4 Aquila and Custodes. Couldn't see them going out. 2 bikes. It's probably what he lost.
The Predator would have to go to absolute town.
Predator and the Chappie probably went bananas. Pulled down the last 2. Direct Assault, yeah, he had the middle and held his opponents for at least a couple of turns, got a 13, and crossed 10 for battle ready. 85, very respectable score. Maybe a little bit closer to something. Maybe I would have backpedaled in the last 2 turns, knowing that you had it in sight, and I'd go try and get maybe a 60, 75, somewhere in that. There's just no need to get huge scores this early. With an 8-round event, it's only going to be undefeated, like 1 player, so no need to chance it. But yeah, engagement fronts, 6 for his opponent, 4 for Oaths of Moment. I'm guessing that was not falling back, probably, and killing a vehicle. Where did he kill a vehicle? Maybe he did kill a Talamon. Never mind.
I don't know.
Maybe he held the center for 1 turn and didn't fall back for 2 turns. Direct Assault for 0, and that was the issue.
It's possible he went first and held at the center there.
Yeah, true. Or he went second and just put some obsec there, because if you go second, just hold it at the end of the battle round. So maybe that was why he left his Remember, he left his Chappie there for a turn. Maybe that's what the Chappie was doing.
That is correct.
All right, we're going to transition back. Which table do you guys want to see? You want to see back to Stuart, the man trainer? Or we should check in with the Dark Angels for a couple of minutes.
Go back to the other one. So while we're there, War Magic has asked, is that terrain? Referring to the green bushes that are in the centre of Stu's game? Or are they the infiltrators? They're just terrain there. It's not actually counting as terrain, it's just something to make it look pretty.
I think it is just to make it look pretty. I feel like it would be. I might double check on that, because I feel like it is just to make it look pretty.
It's very much what we're using Adam for. Make it here look pretty.
Exactly right. Nick is holding this thing up on his shoulders, and I'm just the window dressing. You guys have probably never heard of me. Update on the scores. So Neil Phillips. Engagement fronts 0 at the moment. Deploy scramblers 0. Yep, he wouldn't score it yet. Direct assault for 3, hence he held the middle. You see, he's had a big deep strike into his opponent's deployment zone. He has moved out what I believe is actually, what is his biker character there? Just going to have a quick look.
Raven Apothecary, I think. It looks like it's got a white backpack.
Yeah,
so I think it might be the Apothecary.
I didn't think he had one. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed it when I was reading his list. Because I know he has a Deathwing Ancient. Okay. And a lot of people... Oh, no, he does have Raven Apothecary. Absolutely right. Yeah. Absolutely right. So, yeah. And he's got the Reliquary of the Repentant as well, which is a very good tech choice into things like Sisters that leverage a lot of 5+ and 4+ invulnerable saves some of the time, especially with Valorous Heart. Some of the jank he can do. He has got the Triumph. I haven't seen the Triumph yet, which is interesting. I think it might be right in the top right-hand corner.
Yep.
But yeah, just reading the board, he has got a full 10-man. He did not split it. Full 10-man has dropped into his opponent's deployment zone. I'm assuming we haven't seen the charge phase yet out of them, because they'll probably be going a 6-inch charge right into his opponent's deployment zone, right into that top right-hand ruin.
Yeah, I'd say they're actually going after those mortifiers. I reckon that you'd find at least 6 mortifiers be sitting in that blue building up there, just
right,
hiding so that they don't get while we stand. But I think he's in a bit of trouble there. I think those mortifiers are going to have their hands full.
Read my mind. As you can see, we've got some more guys still alive in the top left-hand corner. I'm actually really surprised to see them there. There was a unit of attack bikes that went up there to try and get those sisters off. But as you can see, I think it's a unit of Repentia that got outflanked, that came on and ate those attack bikes.
There's definitely Repentia there.
There's 4 of them left. They've probably been taken out quite a bit by that single Talonmaster jumping up on that ruin. They will be able to be charged quite easily by those Repentia, but I'm not sure 4 Repentia kill a Talonmaster. We'll have to have a think on that. So they can go to 4 attacks each, hitting on 4s, re-rolling, and wounding on 4s. You go +1 to wounding on 3s. Won't be a save by the Talonmaster. It only needs 4 wounds through to kill him. Those 4 Repentia could easily kill that Talonmaster. That is a big swing if that happens, because that is his best anti-infantry asset that he has, apart from
that's correct.
2d6 in crack missiles from Cyclone missile launchers. But yeah, how do you see this playing out from here? It looks like the Dark Angels are in a very strong position, but look, the sisters exist a lot around them. Like, they exist a lot still.
Yeah, they definitely do. They've still got a lot of board presence floating around. They're holding objective. It's pretty good that they've got numbers on the objectives here. So number 3 is being held there by sisters. I believe number 2 would be held by sisters, and the top right-hand side. So they seem to be holding more of the primaries at the moment. just having a quick glance through the objectives, the scores that we have here, both are on 0 for primary. Secondary, a total is 17 versus 13 in favour of Nick. So the sisters are actually ahead a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And like you've mentioned, if those Repentia on the top left are able to get into the Talon Master, that is a big deal for Neil. That is a lot of his anti-infantry firepower that he has here. But then it will be a trade-off. So obviously those Deathwing Knights that are in the middle, they'll be able to boot skirt across to the left and kill the Repentia. But I believe Nick would be more than happy with that trade-off with the Talon Master for the remainder of 4 Repentia. That's not a drama with him at all.
100%. This is actually, I'm actually going to call this as looking quite bad for the Deathwing, for the Dark Angels. I'm going to call it Deathwing because it's a Deathwing army. But
it's a Deathwing army.
Nick is playing. He's playing just for the secondaries, and I feel like the Deathwing is playing into what the sisters want him to do. The sisters want the whole Deathwing to stay concentrated in one big brick, which they're doing, instead of spreading out, because each one of these Deathwing, these Deathwing squads can dominate a whole quarter, a whole third of the table by themselves, with the shooting, with the combat ability, and with being able to hold board so well, hold table so well, they can just bully a whole third of the board. And right now, what he's doing is he's contained himself in essentially in like a sixth of it. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I feel like he's left himself very exposed.
I mentioned it at the start of the stream. I was a bit unsure about his picks on Dominion and Raise the Banners, but looking at it now, he's very likely going to max them out. I was pretty sure 3 of those objectives.
I was pretty sure Dominion was looking good. I didn't think he would let him. I thought as soon as he took Dominion and Raise Banners, he would be forcing the Dark Angels player to split up, spread out, and just be the imposing, indomitable army it is. But it's not. It's still very contained. It's still very. I mean, so look at that unit in the middle. Yeah, that's a unit of 10 Deathwing Terminators that costs 445 points. They can't see left into the upper left-hand ruin unless they touch it. They can't see into the bottom right-hand ruin unless they touch it. And right now, they're not doing anything. Yeah, you know, if this is his shooting phase, neither of those ruins are touched. He can't see through any of them. He's not shooting in the bottom right-hand corner. He's not shooting in the top left-hand corner. It just feels like there's a unit that costs a hell of a lot of points that's not doing anything. And this is my problem. This is my problem with this Dark Angel list. I play Dark Angels in and out, and I refuse to play more than... I refuse to play 10-man Terminators, essentially, just because I feel like it's too many points in one place.
Personally, if it was me, this is the issue I have with it. It doesn't... You're going to have a big unit like that. We've touched on the Silent King and all these things in the past. So it needs to be able to efficiently be useful in all phases of the game. So it needs to be able to move, which they can't do. They can deep strike, I guess, so you are able to get them where you need to. But then this has absolutely no shooting. So the unit there, yes, they've got some Cyclone missile launchers, but it's not really enough. So would you like to see maybe Adam having Storm Bolters and Power Fists on this unit?
100%. That's my preference. I like the 2 Cyclones. I like 3 to 4 Thunderhammers, and then the rest is Fist, Cyclones, and 2 Cyclones. The rest is Fist and Storm Bolters. I feel like that's much better. I much prefer having small surgical. If I'm going to take a 10-man, I want it to shoot. It needs to shoot to get its value back. If I'm taking 5-mans, I do quite like the double Storm Shield, Thunderhammer, the triple Lightning Claws. I'm a big fan of that. That's a very good deep strike. The 6-inch deep strike can go in, can kill just about anything with the right buffs. And the things that it can't kill, you'd use other things. You use Talon Masters or Redemptors to wear him down, etc., etc. But yeah, because right now there is essentially 1,000 points of his army that's existing in 2 squads, in 2 balls. All those characters are because it's not that the characters are bad; it's a problem that the characters are chained to the squads. The characters are chained to those units. Yep. So he's got he's got Azrael in there. He's got Ravenwing Apoth. He's got a Deathwing Ancient, and he's got a Talon Master, and they're all chained to those units for protection. So essentially, you've got just a Death Star, but it's a Death Star that's chained to a 5-inch moving unit. If you could double move these guys, if they had a big advance, if they had a 3d6 charge, it would be so much more exciting. But because you have to start them on the table to protect the characters, you've got like half your army. Just not doing as much as it could be doing. Not saying what it does is bad. I don't want to trash his archetype. Stupendously strong.
Definitely not.
Like stupendously strong.
But what we are seeing, there are a bunch of lists that are coming out, and they do involve a lot of Imperial Terminators. But the ones that we're seeing are Alaris, and we are seeing Paladins, and both of those units have the same, not the same, but they have similar type durability that the Deathwing can have. Probably the Deathwing are the most durable of the 3 Terminators, but the other 2, the Alaris and the Paladins, and the Aquilin as well, they are able to do a lot more damage and then because they shoot and do combat.
And then you start talking about things like Sangard, and you go to a whole new level of what units of this
Yes.
ilk can do. These bully units, these big imposing melee units. I do really like, so if I was playing in a teams list, I love this kind of thing. It's like, you can't come get me. I can come get you, maybe, but you can't come get me. Like, no way, no how. Maybe one list in 20 can come, like, hang with me toe-to-toe an inch away, you know? And those I just don't get paired into. So, teams lists, I think this list, right, especially this list right now, Neil Phillips, your list in teams, join my teammate. I'd play with you. I'd wield, like, your list would be fun to wield into your opponents. Be like, oh yeah, who's going to get the foot up? Dark Angels. If you got Null Zone, you can't win. yeah. Really, really, really strong. Big fan, man.
Yeah, definitely. Based on mission as well, changed it as well. So he's done well in the previous game with the 6 objectives. I'd say that'd be one of his harder missions. So he's done well to get a big score in the first round. There's 5 objectives here. This would be a better one for him. I think even the deployment sort of suits him a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like you said, definitely not to take anything away from his list. This list and the way he's playing it is amazing. But
yeah,
the tricks that Sisters have, we're seeing them again. We've seen them multiple times on the stream so far. The tricks that they have, being able to board control, being able to move out, kill units like they want to with the Repenter and stuff, they're very powerful, Sisters.
Let's have a switch over to oh, it looks like he has picked up a bunch of the mortifiers. Like, admittedly, like there was a unit of 3 in that building. Looks like there's a unit of 3 now behind that building, e.g. probably in the dead pile. I'm just going to transition us over back to the Grey Knights game momentarily. But I'm really interested to see how, like, I mean, if the Talonmaster goes down, that's pretty bad. He will need to roll a big advance. He will need to dump a bunch of CP into that Repenter unit to make sure he gets the charge and gets them down. But Miracle Dice make that very reliable. Looking here, so the Purgation squad looks pretty diminished. Maybe he has got Null Zone off. Maybe that's exactly what's happened. The Paladins also look diminished as well. Looks like he's lost probably 2 or 3 from that squad. I was questioning why he didn't wrap off the Collectors, but maybe he did try and he just killed him. You attack with 1 Purgate, you attack with 1 Paladin. And of course, you can, with D3 damages on all those attacks, all those weapons, you can just spike and kill the guy, unfortunately. But yeah, look, he's doing what I thought he was doing. He's shooting into that bottom right-hand corner, trying to clear that strike squad. Looks like he's either gotten close or he has done that. I haven't seen any investment of fire going into the Terminators at the bottom. They still look like they are at full strength. But yeah, what's your call of the game at the moment? So Stewie made a really big move, which it did pay off. He took the middle of the board, denied direct assault. But is this going to be a big, hellacious hitback?
Yeah, well, I'm interested to see what James is actually doing with Bobby G here. He's put 2 Virtue Scarred with him, and he's actually sending them off against that unit in the bottom.
Yeah,
the bottom there. So we mentioned earlier, there's a good chance that he breaks them up. I don't like the idea of breaking them up, but he might have to do that. We're seeing some shooting coming from them now. It's going to be a big charge, especially now that Stu's taken away the models that he's done. That's a good call from Stu. I think G-Man might be out in his open here. Again, it's one of the While We Stand We Fights things. The Stu has the ability to gate around still. I'm not sure if I'm liking where he's got Gilliman there. He could be a bit exposed, a bit out in the open.
Yeah, I mean, he's very hard to kill. But if he doesn't make this charge, yeah, you can pour a lot of fire into Gilliman. And splitting him off from the Redemptors is very nice. Opens the Redemptors up quite a lot to a nice Paladin charge. And the Paladins would be able to charge in such a way they could pivot into that upper left-hand ruin. So that would be my bet. You move the Paladins across, they charge just the top Redemptor, which looks like it's taken a couple of wounds. And then with the Consolidates and the Pylons, you get into that ruin. And then in all possibility, you lose 1 from fire, and then you pick up the one that's closest to the ruined wall, and the rest are safe from being charged. I mean, they can all still be shot. Like 2 or 3 Redemptors still shooting at the Paladins, pretty freaking awful. Might be what you need to do though. But I do like he's containing his blob. His brick hasn't moved. The 3 Redemptors didn't get to move. The Purgation squad got right up into their grill with their invulnerable saves and blocked them off entirely. Now, an interesting call here is how many he has left. Looks like he's only got a couple of Purgators left. Be really interested to know where Tiggy is, because Tiggy must have null zoned, or he must not have gotten sanked off all those powers. Because with a 2+ invulnerable save, none of those guys die, unless Stewie Ray laid an absolute egg.
It does seem to be a few bases around that center foliage, let's call it. I believe the Tech Marine is in the actual center there, and on the right-hand side, it seems to be a couple of bases. So Tiggy could be hiding there next to that dice there. That could be Tiggy hiding down there. I'm not sure about having him. I guess he's within the 3 inches, so that's fine. I'm
assuming Null Zone must have gone off. I'm just going to make that assumption. In the chat, Helpless Heroes, did the Wolves guy take his first game round 1? He did. He won the beat against the Dark Angels. We thought the Dark Angels overcommitted a little early, and yeah, unfortunately, the Thunder Wolf carried the day. and just got it up. Thunderwolf Cav versus Deathwing Knights. Turns out Deathwing Knights can't catch him. Thunderwolf Cav just ran away with it. MW, watching from Wellington, New Zealand. Loving his games and the coverage. Keep it up, team. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Love it. Love the input
Thanks
from
for watching.
Our mates across the ditch in the lovely NZ. You guys have got a nice, thriving little scene going there. I really hope to get over and have some games with you guys sometime soon. It would be fan-freaking-tastic. Also, we've got the charge phase coming in. Is just going in with the charges, probably against the Purgators. No, sorry. He's probably in the shooting phase still.
Yeah, I think he's still shooting there 5 dice at a time. So
5 dice at a time,
It looks to be, it's very hard to see, but it could be a lot of ones. Does that look like a lot of ones here?
Yeah.
On those yellow dice?
It did, and yet they hit. Looks like he's losing some more purgations. Looks like he's lost one more. So he must have at least a 3 up.
Man, I'm going to be heartbroken if Tiggy's gone.
If Tiggy's gone,
it's GKs that are coming out from under the tree there.
Don't you sell out the People's Champ? How dare you?
Oh, man.
You will displease like half our viewership, which is like all of Stu's family.
Oh, man, I've just pleased myself. I was just speechless there, just staring at my TV, going, where's Tiggy? Why is Tiggy not here?
Yeah, I can't see him. I'm assuming the Tech Marine is the guy bubbled up behind the 3 Redemptors to the bottom.
Yeah, 100%
left.
that's a Tech Marine.
Yeah, I just don't know where Tiggy is. I can't see any model that could be him.
Unless he's laying sideways next to laying down on the ground next to that front Redemptor.
Yeah, it's possible, man. Anything's possible.
It could be a cloak with a staff. I'm not sure.
So the unit that we thought were the Assault Termies, are they the Victory Scarred, or were they lying even to the next to the Victory Scarred?
So the
Assault Termies.
So the Victory Scarred are to the right of Gilliman there.
Yeah, but where were they before? Has all the Assault Intercessors been picked up?
I think they were. Yeah, they're all being picked up. I believe they were in the left-hand side of Gilliman. There was 2 on the left and 2 on the right. I think maybe they've lost 2 of them, and he's got another unit of 2 remaining.
Yeah, looks like all the Purgation Squad has been picked up, and they're trying to figure out how many Redemptors have shot.
Man, I'd love to see some score updates on these ones, boys.
Yeah, same. I would really love to see a score update. I think they're trying to figure out some charges. Yeah, this is going to be close. How's he moving?
Well, it's an Ultramarine player's turn. Oh, that's what I think is Tiggy. Is that Tiggy? Come on.
Yeah.
How's made it worse.
He just had a shooting phase. How's he? Maybe he's charged. Maybe just charged and has to consolidate.
Yeah, I think he's charging. Maybe there's some stuff in that tree there.
Yeah, maybe there's some stuff in that tree there. I wish they would just.
If we could get Jim's mowing back from that previous game, we get Jim's mowing in.
That would be fantastic.
That would be very helpful.
I'm gonna take if those are not terrain, I'm gonna take them off for the next stream, or push them to the sides so they don't matter. Because right now they are hurting my brain and my soul.
All right, now might be a good time to run through our sponsors that we've got for today, Adam.
Yeah, please do, man. Do it right off. You want to do the first one?
Yeah, no worries. So Knights of Dice is our first one there. I believe he's a Victorian guy. Is that correct?
He is. Lovely, man.
Yep, so he's been hooking up with some terrain. He's given us some bags. So anything you guys need from Knights of Dice, just hit him up. I believe we have a bit of a discount going on at the moment, which is Art of War 40K, I think, AOW 40K. Yep. I'll just go through the spiel that we've got here. I've just got my thing loading up. So that we had a Necron table come up that we've been using on our streaming as our streaming table, which is amazing, easy to put together,
gorgeous,
really quick to paint. They are specializing in laser cut products. Knights of Dice focus on developing a premium range of products, ensuring the majority of our kits have incredible levels of detail that are produced on the finest laser cuts available. In addition to amazing MDF terrain, they also have an amazing range of army carry cases with a range of different foam options. If you play this hobby, there is no better case you can use. So that Art of War, all capitals, will get you 15% off in the coupon code there.
One word, guys. Art of War. ARTOFWAR. All go for it. Chuck it in capitals just to make sure they know it's from us. And you get 15% off. It's pretty good.
I can vouch for their bags, man. I have one of their bags myself. It is amazing. It's unbelievable.
We just want to tell you guys a bit about Best Coast Pairings. So Best Coast Pairings is a premier mobile application for running Swiss-style gaming tournaments. Simply put, the best tournament experience. Over 2020, we have seen some exciting changes in BCP with the merging of Best Coast Pairings and my beloved Down Under pairings. Joshua Diffie has joined the dev team and has built out a number of cool new features, including the streaming assets you're seeing in front of you right now, which are being used today for the very first time. So this is a bit of a premiere for them. Live scorecards, round timers, and event placings, all powered by BCP. If you're looking at running an event, BCP is the tool for you. BCP has sponsored this event. So if you don't need to sub to view the lists. And of course, you want to side BCP, you will find them wherever you please. Pretty easy to find up. I'll just go back to back and do the next one. Smoky Passes Barbecue. It was formed in 2008 and comprised of Dom Damon, ex-Australian ETC player, and Matthew Knowles. They are putting some catering for the event. So they're an event sponsor. They're not a sponsor of Idlewild Down Under. They're a sponsor of Uprising, the event. And they're going to be catering for us on Sunday. They're going to be feeding us to the chops with ribs and smoky pulled pork and all that goodness. And I'm actually can't wait. I'm actually looking forward to that just as much as the stream. You want to do the next, Nick?
Yeah, no worries, man. So Dragon's Lair in Salisbury, they're also an event sponsor here. They're a board game trading, card game, and miniature gaming store located in Salisbury, Adelaide. They run weekly events for Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Digimon, Warhammer, and more. Dragon's Lair is a sponsor of the event itself, providing prize support. So the great people down at Dragon's Lair have actually donated a bunch of prizes here. So that's interesting to see.
Absolutely
well done.
fabulous.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks so much very much to them. And the last one is the Normal Blokes. If you don't know the Normal Blokes, they're a podcast out of Brisbane, Australia. They do a lot of streaming. They're amazing community men. Wonderful, wonderful, lovely guys as well. It's a Brisbane-based podcast dedicated to improving the competitive 40k experience. We talk local events, meta, list building, tactics, and hobby. Hosts are Luke Pierce, Denise Langama, Jordan, and Liam Hackett, who just won Masters. 100% you want to tune in for their next episode, guys, because they guarantee it's going to be chock full of Uprising goodness. Probably a lot of fallout from this event. Not that there's going to be any drama, just kind of recovering from the first 3-day event in how many years for us. Everyone's a bit unmatched fit, so to speak. But yeah, really, really cool sponsors. Really happy that these guys are able to be a part of this stream. Jumping back into this game, we'll stay on this game for another minute or two. Then we'll jump back over to the Death Watch, so the Death Guard. Jeez, everything's called Death and Raven. The Death Raven Wing and the Raven Death Guard. Yeah, looks like we've gotten into Stewie's turn. Either start at top of turn 4. I wish they would update their scores, and we have to get Chelsea to give them a kick up the butt. But the Paladins have moved out. Looks like they're going to be going in, and they will easily, between them, they should very easily munch that Redemptor. He did looks like he failed the charge with Gilliman, so that unit of Paladins, or I'm assuming it's a unit of Terminators at the bottom, is quite safe. I'm hoping they are going to be gated out of that position, or at least run away, because Gilliman will go in there and he will mulch the whole thing. But what are your thoughts here, man? What are you seeing? What big plays has Stewie got available to him?
Strikes that he had on that red building on the bottom right have obviously been removed. I'd say one of the Redemptors have plinked off a few of them. So objective-wise, it is looking pretty close. The James has got the bottom left. He would be on and off holding the middle one. I'm not sure. He would have definitely had it turn 1, but not turn 2 onwards. I think the main question is the top left-hand side, that ruin there with the multiple balconies on it. There is 100% something sitting under there.
Yes.
It could be that unit of servitors because it does look like a smaller base.
Yep.
If we knew what was under that, that would be very useful because that would, in my opinion, that's what's swaying the primary. Stu's definitely had a couple of turns where he had that red one as well on the bottom. So I think it'd be pretty close. We're looking for maybe like 35-40, something like that. Possibly in favour of Stu, I believe.
I think we have just seen a gate. If you look into the bottom left-hand corner of this table, there's 5 strikes have either just been gated or CP teleported in. Can they CP teleport? You can spend a CP and just put them in something in reserve for Grey Knights, I believe. So they've probably been CP teleported into the back there, or it is a gate. His movement phase might be over. And yeah, they're going to be threatening the home objective. Once again, Stewie trying to split.
I'd say that's a gate, that one.
Trying to split his opponent's focus, trying to split his opponent's resources out. I like it a lot. The Terminators didn't move. Which I thought was a bit weird. They should be pulling back at the bare minimum.
At the bottom ones near the orange building?
Get back from the wall.
I think they actually did. I think they did shuffle around a bit.
Not far enough, Stu. Move him again.
So it looked to me like he moved him closer, if anything. So I'm just going to have a guess at what James is doing here with his troops. I think the bottom left-hand side is where he's got the intercessors.
Yep.
And the top, I believe that could be the infiltrators. From memory, had infiltrators.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's what he has there. So I think James been holding that this whole time. So Stu's obviously making a play for those 5 intercessors.
Dude, if I was Stu, this turn I try and tie up and tap a couple of things, and I just pick up all the OBSEC. Get all the OBSEC off the table, and then it's just 3 Redemptors.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. So that
3 Redemptors and Gilliman.
Sorry,
sitting
man.
in the middle.
If he goes into that bottom left-hand...
You go.
We're good at talking at the same time, aren't we, Adam?
Well, it doesn't happen as often as you think it would.
I was just going to point out that if he goes into that bottom left-hand side, he might be able to screen off Gilliman there with those Terminators. Use those strikes or whatever he's got in that bottom left-hand corner to go in, remove those intercessors there, and actually be able to take his objective away from him, which is going to skew the primary.
Yeah, exactly right in the comments, Forge Breaker. Strikes can do strike from reserve, man. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Not that I'm tracking the models, busy building for Helverins. Dude, Helverins are legit. I'm starting to get really hyped for Warglaves. A Warglaive for 135 points feels pretty good. That feels like quite a good value buy. Matt Dye, thanks for the coverage, guys. Love the stream. Getting the right mindset for my RTT tomorrow. I wouldn't take while we stand, we fight, and assassinate together. 2 different game plans. Yeah, I feel like it's a little bit counterintuitive. I feel like it's a bit... You shoot yourself in the foot. You try and play defensively. You don't get one. You try and play aggressively. You lose out on another one. So yeah, it's a little bit iffy. We'll see which one of those pays off. But we're going to jump over to our other table. I feel like this one's coming to a pretty big crux time, but we don't want to neglect our other one because this one is actually looking a little bit interesting in the facts that I don't think it's going the way I thought it was going to go. Those Repentia do seem like they've pushed up underneath that Talon Master, and he's going to be getting charged. It looks like there's another Repentia going to go in on the Deathwing unit in the upper right-hand corner. In all honesty, I'd be leaving that unit alone. Run away from that unit. Forget about it. It's stuck there for the rest of the game. Move advance, get everything away from that unit, get everything away from the middle, and completely semicircle around these guys, starting from that outpost all the way up into the top left-hand objective, and just create like a continuous stream of sisters on all the objectives. There is some aggressive elements still here left for the... Sorry, there's many aggressive elements, but there's still elements here that are poised to do a lot of work and be very annoying for the sisters. In the bottom middle to the right of the greenish vent thing that we're using as a crater is a unit of 2 Deathwing command terminators. They need to be picked up, they need to be gotten rid of, otherwise they're going to start threatening that objective number 2. In the bottom left hand corner, what do you think that unit is to the right of objective 4?
I think that's because he had 3 units of those Deathwing.
Yeah.
I think it's a unit of them because there was 2 there previously. I think one of them has been removed, and I think that is the last of the unit of 2.
Yep, I think so. If you look to the left of the crates on the left-hand side, there is a unit of what looks to be sisters on the inside of those that are going to be threatening that objective next turn. 100% will be threatening that objective. I hope he's noticed that. I hope he's trying to get as far away from as possible from them to extend that charge, because there is a thing with sisters where they can only do advance and charge once. They can only use a miracle dice a certain amount of times. If you do stretch their resources, you can start to get some failure points. But man, miracle dice just like... Never heard of your failure points. Sorry, we don't fail things. Everything we want to do just happens.
They pull off miracles. That's what they do.
That's right.
Those Deathwing, the command that he's got there on the bottom right-hand side that you mentioned, their objective 2. So do you reckon that's what he's using to deploy scramblers?
Yes, I would assume so. I'd assume he'd be using those units to deploy scramblers.
Yeah, I'd say it looks like he's more than 6 inches from that table center. So I think that would be the option there. Obviously, he's done it in the first turn with the unit that was sitting near Unit 4, so he's only really got possibly the one in his opponent's deployment zone left to go.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm going to message can you talk for a minute, mate? I'm going to message the lovely Chelsea, because we have all these incredible stream assets, and they're not getting used because the players won't update their scores.
Yes, that's always a problem. No worries at all, man. I'll keep the chat going for you. So right now, what we're seeing here is... a lot of the same, like Adam said. There's a lot of sisters here that are moving around the table, ready to poise to take positions. And it looks like Nick and his sisters are very slowly racking up the points. I think he's got a majority of the primaries, which the Deathwing Knights on the right-hand side has obviously come to take over. But they're not obsec, so as long as he's got some sisters in there, he'll be holding that as well. The top left-hand side, that seems to be some battle sisters as well. The Stenner, that's obviously held by Neil.
Yeah, so this... It looks like we're in the sisters. We're in the sisters phase, whether it's the charge phase or not.
Turn 3.
Yeah, I think it's the minimum turn 3. I think we're going to get an Overwatch from this Talon Master. So he's getting charged by the Repentia right now. He's just popped a CP. It looks like he's going to be.
He needs to.
Yeah, he does need to. No, it doesn't look like he did do a CP. It looks like the Repentia have made the charge because it is a 5-inch vertical. So putting that Talon Master up there wasn't as great as it seems at times. If you went on the top level, for sure, it would have given you some good stuff. But yeah, the 5-inch vertical. We'll see. There's a few over-unders that could happen here, like because they do hit on 4s re-rolling. You can just spud your 4s on the reroll as well, and just not get enough hits to kill this guy. He will have to spend CP to wound on 3s unless he's comfortable wounding on 4s. Because if he's hitting on 4s re-rolling, wounding on 4s, probably doesn't get it done. The lovely Chelsea has just told us she has.
Sent you a picture of the scorecard, but the Stu's game they've updated. The other one they're gonna do it in a second.
Beautiful. So Stuart Games' scores should have been updated by now, and these guys should be updating at the end of this turn for us, which is pretty nice.
Nice,
dude. Okay. What do you think? Do you think this Talemaster's cooked?
I'm going to go ahead and what's the invite on it? 4 up or 5 up?
In combat, none.
Oh, it's only okay. Yeah, so I am going with a dead Talemaster.
It doesn't get a save, baby. Literally doesn't get a save against the Eviscerators. So as long as he gets 4 wounds through, this boy's dead.
I'm going to go with it is cooked.
I pretty much agree he's cooked. But I'm going to be devil's advocate and say you're going to live on 2 wounds. 2 wounds left.
Ooh.
Let's
So
do
if he does manage to get it out and keep it alive, then Adam, what do you think he's going to do with it? He's obviously going to be tied up in combat. He won't be able to use the shooting abilities.
Well, you
that
can
he
shoot
needs to be able to use.
So a Talemaster is actually one really good thing for shooting in and out of combat. So you allocate your assault cannons into the combat, clear out the 4 Repentia you're with, which is very likely that you do, and then you allocate your Storm Bolters into something, your Heavy Bolters into something else. It's something I do quite often, and it works out pretty well because a lot of people just try and tag a Talemaster, like 2 Intercessors try and shut it down. 12 assault cannon shots, especially if I'm in Dev Doctrine or if I've wheeled myself back to it, whatnot. We'll kill those 2 boys out, and then maybe some more, and then I can shoot elsewhere with the heavy bolter. So it is something I can do pretty often. So yeah, keen. I think.
So does he have the ability as well? I know some Ravenwing units have the ability to be +1 to hit. Does he have the ability to +1 hit?
Yes. Oh yeah. He is. If you stand still in your turn when you charge any Dark Angel sting, they will be +1 to hit you.
Nice. So he's still got the ability to hit on 3+, is that correct?
2s.
Even though he's tied up?
2s. He'll hit you on 2s when he shoots you into combat. They're 2s base, and then he'll be -1 because he's shooting into combat with a heavy weapon, but he's got +1, so he's still hitting on 2s.
So he's still hitting on 2s.
He's going to wreck him if he's still alive. But yeah, if he's still alive. Big fan, guys.
Nick's definitely going to want to hope he gets rid of him then.
Yeah, he has to kill this guy. He's odds on to do it though. Like 3 attacks each, so 12 attacks. Hitting on 4s, we're rolling 6 and then 3, 9 hits. Forced to wound at worst, you still kill him. You don't need to pop the +1 to wound. You're still likely to kill him. You need to lay an absolute egg to not kill this dude. Ron Trainer says, got to go. Good luck, Stu. Forge Breakers asked, how do you feel about old mate Canis Rex? I feel a lot better about him now that Helverins are better. Do I think he's worth it? I'm not sure. Just because his gun isn't that good. I mean, he's great in melee, and he has got the best of the thingy thing traits, the knight traits, whatever they are. What are they called? What do you call the solo knight traits? You know the ones.
Free blade or something like that.
Yeah, the free blade traits, right. He has got the best of those, but that's the only good things he kind of got going for him. If he had a carapace weapon, he'd be sick. If you could put any other gun on him, he'd be sick. But right now, he'd skew the rest of your list. If you're not getting a mass mileage out of his reroll 1 Zora, you just don't take him. But man, he's taking like 4 or 5 Hellrins. Yeah, sure, he's worth it. The best thing about him is that if you take him with Hellrins, people are like, oh wow, I could try and put all my fire to kill this one knight, or I can try and kill the Hellrins. You're like, you've got a big knight, but it isn't the main target. It's actually kind of a sick little mind play, bit of psychological play there. Looks like we've had to have some charges in the top right-hand corner. It's a unit of Repentia that's gone into those Deathwing Terminators. That's pretty cool. That's pretty good. Yeah, we'll see how many of those, because those ones are outside. They won't have any buffs. They won't have any Feel No Pains. I think both the Feel No Pains are still in the central blob. So those ones, if he's gonna zone in and try and kill any, it'll be those ones. And plus, they're not obsec. The Rights of Battle is still back with the Talemaster, so he can easily take whatever objective he's on. One battle sister can take that objective back.
Yeah, that's it. I think he may have some battle sisters up in that top right. The bottom right hand unit, Adam, that's sisters. What is that? Are they the modifiers?
Those are modifiers. Yep, that's what I mean. Like,
yeah, nice. So
he should be able to
definitely see those Deathwing. What are the command squad there getting taken out?
Yeah, I agree. That should be a charge. Hopefully he hasn't forgotten that the unit's there. Yeah, he should be charging into there. Should be cleaning that up in pretty short order. There shouldn't be much left after that. We'll jump back to the Stuart Trainer game. Some of his family seem to be dropping off, and we would hate them to miss out on some of the best bits. Because
he is currently the People's Champion.
He is currently the People's Champion, as voted.
The Stream Champ.
As voted by everyone's champ, man. It's Stuart Trainer. He's everyone's champ.
Oh, we got a score update, so that's good to see.
Tell us the story.
All right, man. So looking at the scores here, the Stuart Trainer has creeped ahead. He has a 13-point lead. Primary-wise, they're both on 10. But it could be actually James Beale has not put in his battle ready. And looking at those beautifully painted red and yellow Ultramarines, I would say they are painted.
Yes, I'm pretty sure they're painted, so I'm not quite sure what the deal is there. I will let you know right now in the top left-hand corner, whatever unit was up there looks like it's no longer there. So good chance that either they were Grey Knights and they moved and they've hid somewhere else, or they were not Grey Knights and they've been deaded. In the bottom left-hand corner, we still got our strike units there that's going to be threatening the Ultramarines' home objective with the Terminators below. I just don't know, are the Terminators going to charge? Are they actually going to charge into this combat? I feel like it's a bad plan if they do. But if you see one of the Victrix Honor Guard, it's actually got a 1 next to it. So maybe the shooting from those Terminators have gone into them. Either that or it's just a smite. They just smited into them, knocked the wind off. Could be anything.
I think it might not be the worst play because obviously he doesn't really want to get him stuck in the Gilman. Like you said, those mortal wounds could do a lot of damage to those Terminators. But if he can get those strikes in first, maybe see if they make it first. If they make it, then use the Terminators on the right-hand side to also jump. Oh, he's going in there. He's not
the Termies have made it. So he's looking to try
and use them as a bit of a screen for Gilman. Yeah.
He's going to pull. He's pulling him back. This is like a tug of rope. So he can go. The whole brick can go forward into the Paladins and to the home objective, or come back and defend a base, or split, which is what he's going to have to do. Gilliman doesn't have enough turns to kill both 10 OBSEC Termies and 5 OBSEC strikes. So he'll come back. Maybe he'll kill the Termies, and the strikes just come out and wreck his primary again. So this is actually a nice little play by Stu. He's playing quite well this game. His opponent's playing very well as well. The problem is with the opponent, he has so many points just in this central brick that Stewie with the Jang Grey Knights he's being able to play around him a lot. It's just with deep strikes. It's also with the gates. Also with the what is the thing to see through Astral Aim, of course. You know the thing that does the stuff.
The thing
that does the stuff.
The thing that does the stuff. I think that's the actual official codex entry for Astral Aim. The thing that does stuff.
It does.
So we're still certain there in the middle there that is Gilliman that's sitting in that tree.
Below that tree, yeah.
There is an upside down base. So Tigerius. So that is an upside down base sitting there. We assume it's Tigerius. It looks like it has a staff.
It's an absurd human. It could be a Victrix Guard.
It could be
because there's 2 more Victrix Guard that haven't been accounted for. So that could be the other 2, or that could be the last 2 of assault intercessors. I'm really keen to know where he is. We could get Chelsea.
My fingers crossed that is where he is. My fingers crossed is that where he is, and not off the table.
Well, no, if he's there, he's dead. He's about to get Paladin to the face, and he might as well be off the table. I love that he's upside down in the shrub, like the potato he is.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know.
I don't say many things about Asmodai to you, mate.
I don't like Asmodai. He's a douche. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that. He's not a nice man. We're not a fan of him. Don't you say anything bad about Azzy though. Azzy's lovely, man. So is Belial. Belial's lovely.
So again,
pigeon toe Belial. Sorry.
What are we seeing? We're seeing a few dice come here. So there's obviously some shooting still coming in, or do you think none of this is the combat? So the combat probably for the bottom left.
Yep, looks like he's doing the Terminators.
I think we're seeing some save from the intercessors.
Yeah, so he's done his consolidate.
And there's a damage roll. It looks like a few damages.
Weird that he wouldn't kill whatever's in there with those 10 Termies. They should easily go straight through any of that. Maybe transhuman, maybe pull different bits and pieces. Looks like he's got attacks back though, which is interesting.
Yeah, it seems to me he got a couple of saves off, and then it looked to be a couple of damage because they're doing the D3 damage, obviously.
It's like it's 2 saves.
Yeah, I'm not seeing many models being pulled out of there though.
Yeah, really weird. I'm not sure what that unit is now. What could it be that? What's going to hold up against 10 Termies?
I think they're the intercessors.
Yeah, intercessors won't hold up against 10
Are
Termies.
they Termies?
Well, they're not Paladins. Paladins would kill them worse than the Termies.
Yeah. And they're definitely on bigger bases than strikes.
They're
So,
not, not strikes. Interesting, he's still got models there. It's not going to matter. Those Termies will be OBSEC. If they're Termies, they're OBSEC, and they're taking that objective anyway.
Yep.
So yeah, it's
And he's
much
at
of
least got the numbers there.
much of a muchness. Maybe he gets a wrap off. Maybe he didn't want to kill him. Maybe he wants to wrap him, not get shot by Redemptors. That would be a big deal. Has he not charged with the Paladins?
Well, the Paladins seem to be very close to that Redemptor on the left there.
He's not
Right
charged.
over
He
the
has not
centre.
charged with the Paladins.
An interesting choice. The damage, the flat 4 damage from the Dreadnought there could be what's scaring him off there, but I don't think that would be too much of an issue.
No, there's no way you don't charge the Paladins. I don't understand. Yeah, non comprehende. Like, I do not know why he wouldn't have charged them. It looks like there's only 4 wounds left on that Redemptor as well. There's a 4 sitting in front of his base.
It could be a fact that that's Tiggy in the middle there, and he's still got null zone off, so those Paladins have no invulnerable save.
They wouldn't care. Oh, well, I didn't think he would care. Yeah, bizarre. I have no idea why he didn't charge the Paladins, man. Very strange. Very strange.
It's an odd one. It definitely is an odd one.
Yeah.
So we're seeing a bit of move. So those Blade Guards now are making a bit of a hot shoe shuffle to the right there. They're going to that objective that was previously occupied by the Strike Marines.
Yeah, the Victrix Guard are going to the right-hand side. Looks like there's nothing else to contend that there. Looks like they rolled a bit of an advance as well. They'll be holding that down probably for the rest of this game. I would like to see an update.
So that's obviously gone into the Ultramarine returns and Ultramarine turn. And like you've said, that's a very disappointing combat phase there from the GKs. Stu wasn't able to get rid of those units in the bottom left, and like you mentioned, those Paladins didn't go in and do anything to those Dreadnoughts.
Definitely could have killed that one Redemptor and whatever it is in the shrub.
Yeah, just the one on his own, yeah.
Whatever's in the shrub. It's so silly. Looks like
it's like that shrub in Fortnite, that suit you can get in Fortnite where you just hide inside the shrub.
I don't know what Fortnite is. Why do you know what Fortnite is? You're a grown man. Stop it.
Because I have young children, mate.
Well, you can stop that too. No, they're lovely. Yeah, I don't understand why he didn't kill the Paladin. Why he didn't kill the Redemptor. I can't comprehend something that would have stopped him either.
All right, so here we go. Here's the magical moment we're waiting for. There's some movement out of the tree.
Yep. He's
so
flipped
that looks
over.
like an assault intercessor. That's an assault intercessor.
Flipped it over. It's got a cape, man. You're right. That is Tiggy. Either that or it's a Victrix Honor Guard because they had the little
here we go. He's moving off. I think. It's hard to tell, man. It is very hard to tell. Let's go with that. It's Tiggy.
Damn sure.
That makes much more sense.
Yeah. So the Gilliman's moving back to go into the Paladins / Terminators, whatever they are, and yeah, 2 Redemptors and
is one of the Redemptors.
One of the Redemptors as well. Depending on how buffed they are, and they were back there by themselves.
G-Man's going the other way.
What?
Oh no.
No.
Oh no, we're just trying to we're looking for auras here. So I'm making sure we get some rerolls for those core units of Redemptor Dreadnoughts.
Okay, fair enough. Just make sure he's got his stuff in range. Yeah, because you don't want to do this play without your buffs, for sure. We'll jump.
Smart play there by James.
At the start of this turn, we'll jump over and have a quick gaze.
I'm interested to see whether this Telemaster is still cruising around on.
Oh, true. We left before we saw the Telemaster had died. We probably should have stayed to see what happened there. Could have been a little bit of drama.
I've been keen to see what happened there.
Yeah. He's still there, buddy. Maybe he hasn't attacked yet. There was a lot going on this turn.
Oh!
There is a lot going on this turn. Unit of Repentia have made it into the top right-hand corner with the Deathwing Terminators. Looks like Deathwing Terminators still there with some... Possibly still in there with some Mortifiers. Maybe they didn't clear out the whole squad. They definitely killed 3. Not sure if they killed any more. Those scores have not actually been updated. Pull your finger out, lads. Come on.
Can you see... You're obviously not in the same room as them, but we can't see St. Catherine either on the top right-hand side, which would occupy a fair bit of space there.
Yeah, I haven't noticed St. Catherine once this game, man.
Me either.
Really weird.
So I just assumed it was behind that blue building. I would say that they look like they've knocked the table a fair bit. So maybe they've knocked it up a bit and we can't see it on the table.
Yeah. There is definitely a triumph. There is definitely a triumph in here. It was so weird.
Because that's one of its while we stands. So there is an option that they've left it off the table, which is the smart play, while it's being one of the while we stands. I like that idea if that's what's going on.
Yeah, I agree.
But we have seen a few units already being put into reserve from the Sisters player.
Exactly right. You would have forked out quite a few CP to do all those. Yeah, Talonmaster is still there. It doesn't look like it's had any wounds on it, so it may not have had any attacks go in. I haven't seen any units move or change dramatically to make me think we've moved on any phases. It could just be a big rolling maul in the top right-hand corner. Looks like it's quite a few
Yeah,
Terminators
that's it. The
missing.
Repentia seem to be in a very similar position as they were previously as well.
Yeah. So there is definitely Repentia inside that, like inside with that brick of Terminators. And I feel like there's a lot of Terminators missing. I can't rightly tell from this angle. There's also something that looks like he's got wings. That could be he's got a Canoness in there. That's a bit of a tooled up model. But this is actually looking quite good for the Sisters. This is always the risk playing Sisters. They're just like such a good, well-rounded army. It's very hard to account for all the things that they can do. Like in my head, every time I play against Sisters, there's like a whole new bag of tricks that I've either forgotten or that weren't relevant last time I played them. I'm just like, oh, well, geez, yeah, cool. You can do that. You can do that too. You can do that. You can do that. Cool. I guess, yeah, do whatever you want, man. Just do whatever you want. Tell me when it's my turn or when I need to roll saves. It feels pretty
Yeah, you're
bad.
right. They are still kind of an unknown factor. And not many people are aware of how much of a powerhouse that they are, because we haven't seen a lot of tournament play recently since they've actually come out with their new range and their new book. So a lot of people have had them at home, obviously getting ready for the tournament scene, and we're now starting to see the prevalence of them come out and absolutely destroy people.
There was quite a bit of like hobby lag on the Sisters. Like
Yep.
a lot of their brand new range, magnificent looking models. Not many people had them to start with the old medals and the old pewter stuff. A lot of that stuff is, lost in the void of people's basements and such. But the new stuff was quite hard to come by as well. So there was a lot of catching up to do for people to try and get enough models to make decent armies again. And now we're starting to see them. So the fear here now, yeah? So he's got this big, huge, imposing brick of Terminators in the middle with 3 characters with him. And then he has this other brick that's probably taken a couple of wounds in the top right-hand corner. If he loses the Talonmaster, loses the brick in the top right-hand corner, there goes the Talonmaster, by the way. He dead. He wasn't going to make it through that. It was pretty unlikely. I just said it for the lols. If he loses the top right-hand corner brick of Termies, the game's cooked, man. Like, the Sisters are just going to dominate the rest of the board. You can't... That unit in the middle is too slow, and it's only one unit. It cannot go and take 2 objectives for you. It's impossible. Like, it can clear him, but it can't hold him. It's just, it just feels... this is a point in the game where these big Termy bricks feel very unwieldy. But yeah, look, he's still got a lot of players.
Yeah, that's it. So possibly an option of combat squad may have been a better option, do you think, Adam? Because we know that he's left that unit of 10.
Yeah. Combat squad, all of them, both units. 4 units of 5. And 3 units of 2, 4 units of 5.
That is definitely one of the benefits that... That's definitely one of the benefits that the Firstborn Marines have over the Primaris Marines, is the ability to combat squad all of this stuff.
Yeah, exactly right. There's a lot of strength in that. Looks like there is a bunch of Termies been picked up. A minimum of 3 are gone from that brick in the top right-hand corner. Middle is still untouched. I mean, he can Voltron out the middle. Like, it does have Azrael in there somewhere. It does have a Ravenwing Apothecary. It does have a Deathwing Ancient. They can Voltron out and do a bunch of things, but none of them are especially killing, apart from Azrael. So, look, he can do some things. And I'm definitely not going to say he's out of it. Like, by no means is the Deathwing out of it. And the fact that we haven't had a score update in so long, we could be entirely wrong on our read of what is occurring in this game, and the Deathwing could be winning.
It wouldn't be the first time that's happened to us, but I'm under the same opinion as you. It looks like Nick has gone away on the primary a lot. He's going up 15 to 10 each turn, so that's a big swing. We know the Wild West stands are going to be difficult to get rid of. And while he's only on 1 for the banners, he's on every objective. So I'm thinking he's going to max that out.
That banners is very old. That banners is 2 turns behind. So yeah, he could easily be on like 7 for the banners. Because he could have gotten 3 and 3 for the last 2 turns. We're seeing the last unit of 2-man Deathwing Command come down. They're probably going to be coming down and scrambling the enemy deployment zone, and that's what I expect them to do. They're going to come down, scramble, going to lock out that 10 points. That should be the last of them. That objective 2 is quite exposed in the bottom right-hand corner. There's no reason for those mortifiers who have moved down there. Maybe they did forget to charge, admittedly. But that unit, whatever is that unit sitting to the right of that objective 2, is about to get charged by 2 Deathwing Terminators. Whether that's enough to pick up whatever's inside that ruin, who knows? It could be 5 more Sisters in there for all we know, and maybe they don't get it done and the OBSEC wins that out. But the fact that they can charge onto that gives him quite a bit of agency still. He's still got objective 4 tied up. He's kind of in the position of he's getting 10 on primary. He's not getting 15s. His opponent's probably getting 15s, which is the issue. Yep, there's his move. He's going for that objective 2.
The problem.
He's still comfortably getting 10s, and he's getting his 3s for direct assault consistently. This is his turn 3, obviously, because he's still got 1 unit that's being deep striked. So he's on 6 for direct assault already. He's probably going to go up to 9 end of this turn. I believe he went second as well. Unless this is...
Yes, from memory, that's the case.
Yeah, I believe so. So yeah, there's still a bit to play here. We'll come back and check back at this one in about 5 minutes when this turn is fully underway. But I'll jump over to this one. You can have a bit of a call, mate. It should be coming up for you any second
worries,
now.
man.
But yeah, people at home.
And while you...
Yeah,
You go. I was just going to have a quick go through the chat. So before you're crossing over, the what do we got here? So Julie Trainer voted by us. Lol, yes, that is correct. You voted for Stu to be the People's Champ. Josh Diffie's here. Not everyone has a nickname to paint them a sister's army. Looks at Eric. Yes, that is correct. And the Talon Master, he ain't going to be in Rush Hour 3. That is true. He ain't even going to be in Turn 3, let alone Rush Hour
3. Good call. All right, what's changed here?
3. All right, so what have we got here? So G-Man's still there, which is a bonus. But the actual Terminator unit themselves, they have gone from obviously like a 10-man unit down to a 2-man unit. So G-Man has done some of his magic. There's only 3-man left, sorry. So either the Redemptor has shot at them, which I think would be the case, or G-Man shot at them as well, because people underestimate that the shooting ability from G-Man. That's actually quite good as well. So Victorious Guard have shuffled over towards that red objective, continuing their march on to help score more primaries. The Paladins have been whittled down a fair bit by those Redemptors as well. So I believe that could be due to Null Zone. Getting rid of that invulnerable saves and then those 4 damage from the Redemptors. So that's pretty big there. So Stu's actually taking some heavy losses in this turn, something that I didn't expect to see. He's got those strikes on the bottom left-hand side that are waiting to get into those intercessors. They'll be able to get into the next turn. So that Redemptor Dreadnought, that's going to have to either shuffle around the building, around the left, because that and G-Man, neither of them can actually go inside a building. They're too tall to fill through the door. So they don't have access there. They don't have access clearance.
This could be a turn that flips it against Stewie. So both his Terminators and the Paladins are while we stand with fight points, and it looks like he's likely to lose both of them this turn. I still have no idea why he didn't kill that Redemptor. If he killed that Redemptor, one Redemptor and the Victorious Guard probably doesn't kill who had 7 Paladins at the start of that turn. One Redemptor and the Victorious Guard do not kill 7 Paladins. Right now, they are going to. He would have to have left 1 at home, which means maybe Gilliman by himself doesn't kill the Terminators. Just having that Redemptor there, man, it's going to be such an issue. He's probably healed it up 3 wounds as well, which means it's probably full bracket. If it was on 7, if it was on 4 left and now it's gone up to 7 left, it'll be on full bracket. Man, this is rough. This is actually going to be rough now. Looks like he's made a charge with either the Victorious Guard or the last remaining Assault Intercessor. There's a 1-man unit. Looks like he's going to go for a charge with that Redemptor as well. See if he's going to make it in.
All I can guess is that Null Zone's playing a big point here because
I think he's failed. He failed that charge, by the way. Sorry. No, he's just re-rolled it. Looks like he has made it on the re-roll. So
no, he's in. He's definitely in. That Assault Intercessor's definitely in. I think Null Zone's actually playing a big part here.
The second Redemptor.
I'm taking you.
Dude, there's.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
Yeah,
I'm a bit behind you, I think.
I'd be so surprised if Stewie's not popping CP to make sure Null Zone doesn't go off. If he's letting Null Zone wreck him, then he deserves to lose the units, unfortunately.
I just don't know why else he would not have been in combat with the Redemptors. Obviously, he's going to need to be able to kill them when he goes in there because tagging them isn't enough. Them being Ultramarines, they can just jump out and shoot, but they can't assault back, obviously. But like you said, yeah, I'm interested to see why those Paladins weren't in combat, weren't making some damage here because
dude, I'm really.
He's definitely done the right thing. He's grabbed a couple of bricks from the bottom of this castle. He's rocked the foundations and he's pulled it apart. But actually, the smaller parts of this castle that he's got now, into the fact that he's got 2 Redemptors on one side with those assaults and the Assault Intercessors and Tiggy, and then the other side where he's got that left-hand side Redemptor with G-Man are actually doing the work for the Ultramarines. They're actually putting it to Stu.
Yeah, dude.
Getting rid of those Terminators and the Paladins.
Yep. It's actually pretty scary. I feel like there's another Terminator gone from the bottom left-hand unit. Yeah, man, he's going to lose both of these units, and that's 10 points down to Gurgler. Does he still have the time to make it up on the primary? We will see. Because right now, he hasn't denied any while we stands to his opponent. He's going to have them all. And now 2 of those while we stands are going to be right in the bottom left-hand corner in the backfield. Admittedly, it does mean he has separated his opponent's brick, he separated his opponent's castle. Does he have enough time? Doesn't have enough firepower now to kill the Redemptors? I don't think he does without the Paladins and the Termies, man. It's actually... I'm quite worried for the People's Champion here. He's going to have to play the objectives. Admittedly, he can play the objectives very well, and he can just win the game. So interested to see what he does next. His next turn is really going to define. Looks like he's going to get to attack. Looks like he's got. Sorry. He's got the Redemptors attacking now. Will Stu interrupt? We will see.
Yeah, I'm just going to bow out for a couple of minutes, Adam, and I'll
No,
leave
no
you
stress
to
at all.
do your magic.
So 6 attacks because he has the super techie with the Waller trait that gives +1 strength, +1 attack to dreads, core dreads in the range. So he's got 6 hits, which is scary, and he's going to be winning on 2s. Unless he's popping the CP for the transhuman, which I probably would have. At this point, stuff it. Keep everything alive that you can keep alive. I believe he took 2 wounds. So maybe that is a transhuman. Here comes the third one. There's a save as well. And 3 more. 3 hits, 3 wounds. Looks like he's killed all 3. Yuck, Stu. I'm sorry, my brother. I'm sorry, my love. That is probably a paddling. That is 5 points for while we stand. Gone. Frankie, Michael. Sun is to protect from the Emperor's light. Yeah, obviously, man. What turn are they on? I believe they're on either bottom of turn 3 or bottom of turn 4. With 35 minutes left, they're not updating their scores. It's actually pretty hard for me to tell. They could be.
Adam, I am back to accompany you. Look at that Redemptor move, man. Look at that hot shoe shuffle.
Well, yeah, the first one went in, killed all 3 Paladins. The other one got a 6-inch, Paladin Consolidate and has moved up right in front of them. I can't see the Ultras being stopped from here. But we are going straight into Stewie's next turn. We'll see. Well, it depends. Stewie could be up. He was already up by 10 points. He could be extending his lead on the primary considerably with that play in the middle. E.g., holding his opponent to 5s for a turn and then getting a 15 himself. This turn, he wouldn't have gotten a 15 at the start of his turn. At best, he's on 2 objectives. And now it's 3 objectives to his opponent. No longer has the ability to get the middle one back. Probably doesn't have the ability. He has the ability to get strikes onto the middle objective the bottom left-hand objective with a charge. The issue is they've got to stay an inch away from the wall, and they've got to stay an inch away from 3 inches away from Gilliman. And he can gate like a purgation squad into the bottom right-hand corner, kill off the Victrix guard, and then next turn get onto that objective. Because admittedly, he won't be able to, with the 9-inch bomb, he won't be able to get there this turn because they're too close. So he certainly does still have some plays, guys. But it feels a lot worse without the Pallies and the Termies, man. And losing both in one turn, that's a bit of a blow.
Definitely. Some of his big hammer units, they're also his While We Stand, so a lot of his secondaries have gone away. And he didn't actually get to do a trade-off with those While We Stand, so he hasn't got one of those Redemptors back. He hasn't got Gilliman back. So he hasn't actually been able to make a fair trade there. So that's actually a very big detriment to Stu's game.
Yeah, man. This is concerning. He is going
It is,
down.
for the People's Champ.
It's people. Exactly right, man. The People's Champ. Hopefully his family's tuned out by now, and they're just convinced that the last memory of them was him in a dominant position in the middle of the board, being their indomitable hero of a son. I'd be very happy if that was their last things on this, because
unfortunately, I believe there is some kind of curse going on with the stream too. Majority of the time when people are on the stream, they're watching their family are watching them, and their mates are getting into them. We do actually see a loss to that person. So.
Home crowd disadvantage. Absolutely.
Maybe it's best to just watch the replay for your family.
Oh, Drago. Old boy Drago.
Here we go. Big play.
Yes, possibly a big play. Stewie's got to pull something out.
Do you think that James is making a beeline for that objective there with that to try and get a bigger play on direct assault? Do you think that's what James' play is?
Man. He's got every advantage right now, with the exception of OBSEC. But he has the ability to kill all Stewie's OBSEC. Next turn, he can lose all his OBSEC, and Stewie can just have a handful of characters left. Right now, for Stew, I see a unit of Purgators, maybe 2, and a unit of Strikes, and some characters. That's it. Versus Gilliman, 3 Redemptors. It's rough, man. It's really rough. Really rough.
Definitely is. I think it was James. Who was it earlier? There was someone in the chat said they weren't sure on the list, but they would like to see. They're willing to change their mind on the list. Well, here it is. I like the list a lot. I like it. We've seen the Inceptors got taken out early, which is a lot of Marine firepower, but he's still been able to do damage with these Plasma Redemptors. And Gilliman himself is obviously one of the best counter assault units getting around. If you can hide him, being only 9 wounds, he can't be targeted. Yep. He's got extra wounds floating around with those Victrix guard. You can get him stuck in with that Emperor's Sword. He will smite down pretty much anything with that Emperor's Sword. It is unbelievable, the firepower that he has.
Yes, he does. Look at Drago making the big plays. He's going for it, Drago. He's going to go. He's moved onto range of that objective. I think he's used Edict Imperator to get closer. So I'm not sure if he can charge because I did see him move twice. Don't know any other way for them to move twice. There might be some unknown shenanigans I've never heard of, but he could. Looks like he's got a smite onto that middle objective. It looks like he killed that unit off. Is he going for a charge in addition? No, he just cast. What did he do with the cast? Don't know. No idea what he did. So he's in the tide of.
It looks like to be some kind of smite.
Yeah, it looks like he's in the tide of Smitey Smite, and he's just smited out whatever that unit was on the middle objective, which what I assume is his obsec. So if Drago gets a charge off,
I assume that was the remainder of the assault intercessors.
If Drago gets a charge off into the Victorious Guard and picks them up, it's a 1-to-1 Drago to Redemptor, and it'll cost his opponent quite a bit of primary. So I'm of the opinion that Stu's got to have something in the top left-hand corner to make for this play to be worthwhile. Otherwise, it doesn't change anything for your opponent. It still holds 2 and holds more. So if Stewie's got the top left-hand corner with something, because I haven't seen the Servitors, if Stewie's in the top left-hand corner with something, this game is very much still
They could be that unit that we saw on the balcony previously in the game,
Yeah.
and he's just moved them back out of line of sight, out of range of those Redemptors.
Exactly right, dude. Or either that or they've been picked up somewhat. But this move doesn't make sense without all that being the case, without all that being true. The other thing is, so Drago's put himself within 3 inches of it. He's got the Purgation squads. They can still shoot into those Victrix Guard and pick them up. Because I think Edict Imperator is what they use to get Drago within range of that objective. But there is a lot of jank for Grey Knights. Like, they're still making plays right now.
There definitely is.
But
layers upon layers of tricks that they can pull out.
It might not be enough. Demonic Teddy has stated that this is the caster curse. Whoever is the cast's favorite is doomed to fail. We must switch over to...
So that's obviously what's happened to you yesterday, then, Adam. That's the only reason you went down yesterday.
Yeah, man. I'm just too beloved.
When you're the people, well, you are the stream champ, the people's champ. That's what's going to happen, mate.
Yeah, we're going to transition over to the other table and see what's happened because there is some dramatic. Well, there's some big moves. And I think the big moves that were absolutely 100% necessary. The unit of Terminators, I believe that is them. They've gone into the top left-hand corner. Going to be getting a revenge kill onto the Repentia. The unit in the top right-hand corner, I've got no idea if they're still there. The table has continued its journey of being bumped towards the bottom. Which I'm going to have
the table's moving faster than the Deathwing Knight, that's for sure.
Which I'm going to have to tape down or I'll readjust the table size. Apologies for that, guys. Not much we can do about that. If the players bump the table, they bump the table. I wish I was in like range to like signal a TO to give them a clip and say, don't bump the table, but that's not really what we do here. We don't try and influence the game in any way, shape or form, apart from making them put in their freaking scores, which these guys have. As you can see, man, we've been down.
Here we go.
We've been downplaying the Dark Angels a fair bit, but those first 2 turns of primary dominance is seeing them in good stead.
We'll run us through the scores there, Adam. What are you seeing, mate?
Occasional fronts hasn't been very fruitful for them, as I didn't think it would be, admittedly.
You called it, mate. You called it.
They've got 5. Looks like so last turn, or this turn, they have all quarters for 3, because they had the Talonmaster, of course, in one quarter, the unit of 2 Deathwing companions in the bottom right, and then the big blob in the top right. And of course, the one single guy in the bottom left. So there's the 3 points, and then a single turn of 2 points. Deploy Scramblers, they've capped it out, as I thought they would. That one unit of 2 deployed this turn and got the Scramblers. And Direct Assault has been fruitful. They had the middle objective every single turn. So 3 turns of that as well. Secondary is quite fruitful. And the primary, I think 3 turns of 10 is what he's got. 3 turns of hold 2 is what he's been able to secure so far. So he has
1 and 4 were the ones he's been holding.
Which makes me think he has the top of turn, by the way, because we haven't seen a score by the Sororitas, which I do not believe they had any turn in which they did not get, which they got a 5. So the only way they got a 20 is if they got a 5 and a 15, or they've got a 10 and a 10 and they haven't had their turn 3 scoring. While We Stand has not been scored up yet, I'm of the opinion that he's 5 points down on that. I'm not 100% sure. He could be still on 15. There could be still one Mortifier up in the top. I know a couple have been removed at least. Raise the Banners is currently scoring 6. So that could be 2-2-2, and I'm incorrect, and he has had his turn 3 scoring, which could be a thing. But yeah, what are you seeing here? I mean, 20 points up for the Dark Angels is looking pretty good. I don't know if they can hold on to that, though. I would have thought... Yeah.
It definitely is. I think, like you said, I don't know if they can hold on to it. They don't really have the models remaining where the sisters do. We haven't seen St. Catherine, so I think a lot of it will come down to While We Stand, We Fight. We haven't seen the Sate floating around. It's obviously a very inconspicuous small model, so it's
tiny.
very easy to hide.
Yeah.
So he's obviously done well to hide that for the majority of the game. He's been pretty much on those objectives 3, 2, and the top right-hand side for the whole game. So he's been sitting on 3 objectives for the whole time. So I think you're right in the correct that he hasn't had his turn 3 yet, possibly. Unless he went 5 for the first turn, then 15 for the second turn, that could be the case. Then this is his turn 3 now, and it actually hasn't finished.
That's correct. So I'm of the opinion that 3 and 3 for banners is not inconceivable. So he has had objective 3 in the top left-hand corner for most of the game, and of course we know he's had the bottom right as well. And yes, of course, he's been on his home objective also. I would assume he's got 3 and 3 for razor banners, and we have to go into the bottom of turn 3. I am going to say straight up, a little bit disappointing. 2.5 hours into this round, and they haven't started the bottom of turn 3 yet. A bit rough, guys. If you're watching this back, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely is, especially with this Dark Angels army. There's not a lot moving parts to it. Majority of it is just sitting around, pulling its thumbs, keeping its secrets to itself. Yeah. So we should be probably seeing a bit more action there. Those mortifiers are going to actually get involved. They could be a while we stand, but we're going to need to see them come into objective 2 and take off that to make sure the primaries are rolling over for Nick there.
Absolutely, they'll go into objective 2 and they'll get some work done. No doubt in my mind, they'll get that one back. So the issue is whether or not he's able to pull the banner down is really what that is all about. If that is a unit of battle sisters, he does need to kill them to a man to get that. If he has one left, the job will not be done. If that depends, it depends which unit of Deathwing laddies that is. I believe he's got 3.
Oh yes, they did have some different weapon options, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got one with just power sword, and then one with a chain fist, and then 2 with both with twin lightning claws. If it's the lightning claw lads, they'll kill those sisters very easily. If it's the power sword and chain fist, it's actually swinging because he hits on 4s with one of them, and then he only wins on 3s with the other one, and they'll get their 6 ups. He might just not even make enough hits to even get the job done.
I would think that the lightning claws would be the one that he's got the shuffle on. So I'd say that'd be the lightning claws, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would bet it's the lightning claws. Well, the thing is, he's got 2 of those and one of the other. Odds is the lightning claws. So they should kill their sisters. He should pull down that banner. That is actually a pretty big deal, really, in the scheme of this game. Because Nick Wright, if he wants to catch up, needs those banners paying absolute freaking dividends, man.
Yeah, he definitely does. He's going to be able to get a couple of points on the end there. So, like we mentioned at the start, I wasn't very keen on banners. You were very keen on the banners. I do still think I was incorrect in that he'll be able to max them out. I think he'll be able to get 15 there. A lot of it is going to come down to that engage and that while we stand. That's what it's looking at right now. Because banners is going to get slowly creep ahead of direct assault. It looks like he's got 1 or 2 units there in the center. Yep. But he does have those Repentia and that underneath the ruin. So they can come through there. And just on sheer weight of numbers, they don't even have to get attacks, but the sheer weight of numbers to be able to come and take that center number 1 objective from him. So we'll see Razor Banners start to creep ahead of direct assault. Scramblers is obviously already capped, so Dominion Domination. Sorry, he's going to get creep ahead of deploy Scramblers, and he's going to outnumber him there. So it's going to come down to while we stand and engage on all fronts because the primaries are very similar.
Exactly right, man. This is going to become really close. If domination goes, if he gets 1 more turn of domination, it will, like you said, it will overpower his deploy Scramblers. He'll be up by 2 points. It's really going to come down to where we stand. Like, he's not going to get many more points for engage, the Deathwing player, the Dark Angels player. At most, he's going to get, he will get another 3 this turn, admittedly, at the end of his turn, because he is in all 4 quarters. But he just had his turn. So the modifiers are going to take him out of 1. He could very well be taken out of the top right hand in a turn or 2. We don't quite know how many Deathwing Terminators are still back there. But yeah, this game's on a bit of a knife edge. I feel like
yeah, definitely.
I feel like we now I think we're pretty clear that the sisters went second. They have a big swing on the primary to come on the bottom of the turn. 22 minutes left.
Yes.
These boys need to get a murder on. There isn't much left here. I don't know what's holding them back so much. But yeah, power on, boys. Let's go.
What we're finding so far, Adam, is a lot of these are coming down to secondaries, aren't they?
Yeah, well, so either secondaries or a big swing on the bottom of turn from the guy going second.
On turn 5,
they're the 2 most likely things to swing the games right now. I thought I was doing very well in my game. I thought I was winning my game. And then 15-point swing on primary, and he won by 2 points. So there you go. It just happens.
Yeah, that's it. So a lot of... Yeah, sorry, you go.
No, dude. Yep.
Yeah, continue. You're right.
Okay, so back to calling this game. So it looks like we've gone into the Ultras, what would appear to be the Ultras turn 4. Gilliman has diverted his to energies. He's working back towards the right-hand side. He's probably done an advance as well. The Redemptor's probably going to touch that building, shoot in there, and try and clear out the Strikes, who admittedly are probably on that one, holding it, contesting it. Now, Drago is still sitting there imposingly on that objective. Doesn't look like he was able to do the damage to pull up and hold that or contest that over his opponent. But those two Redemptors are about to go very deep into his opponent's deployment zone. I'm not even sure if they're fully moved yet. And it looks like there was a Purgation Squad that was there. I assume that's been gated because, as you can see, the Victrix Guard in the bottom right have been picked up. So it could have been a gate by them down there, pick them up. We're into the charge phase of the Ultramarines. A Redemptor has just charged into Drago. Is he going to put the techie in as well? He's putting the techie in as well. You probably shouldn't have done that.
Well, it is. Drago is the while we stand model, so if he can get him in there and get rid of that, that's a nice little turnaround as well. We're seeing the Victrix Guard from the bottom hand right objective have been removed there, so yeah. I'm not sure what they would have done. Maybe some smites.
Fingers crossed.
I'm not sure how they would have got rid of them so easily.
Yeah, so the Purgation Squad would be very good at picking up that unit. The D3 damages can spike very significantly and pick them up in short order. Fingers crossed that he kills him with the first round of attacks into Drago, and Stu doesn't have 2 CP. If he's got 2 CP and the Redemptor doesn't kill him on the first swing, he swings back, he kills the techie, and the last guy doesn't kill him. Drago gets to go about his merry way doing his shenanigans. But the issue is, all he needs is 1 wound to go through, I believe, from the Redemptor, because the Redemptor has, D3 plus 3 attacks. He's going to be hitting on 2s because the techie's probably giving him his plus to hit buff, and he's going to be wounding on 2s as well. So that looks like it is 5 wounds. He's going to CP one of them. Looks like 6 wounds. Drago still has a true 3+ invulnerable save, I believe. Looks like he's failed at least 1. Looks like he's failed 2. And Drago's just picked up, no matter what he was going to roll, because they're minimum 4. So it's a minimum 8 damage. Man, yeah. I was complaining about Redemptors yesterday not being good into Harlequins because I had 5 attacks. I'd get 4 hits, 3 wounds, and then they'd save 2 4+, and a Redemptor in combat would
have
kill
their
1.
4-ups, yep.
Yeah, would kill 1. And then, a Redemptor just goes in and just backhands Drago.
Sends Drago back to the wall.
Exactly right. But the same guy kills 1 Harlequin troop. Pretty funny.
And this is a man that can carve his heart onto the name of Mortarion, and everyone's scared of Mortarion.
Matt
so
Ward,
that tells you how tough this one Redemptor is.
Matt Ward has a lot to answer for. You know what Drago can't do? He can't do that to this Mortarion. Maybe in years gone by. Well, this Mortarion is
not anymore.
Swoltarion. He is Swoltarion, guys. Everybody circulate that. I just coined that phrase right then. Just made it up. No copyright. Free to use. My gift to you for watching my stream. Swoltarion.
We encourage you to use it. And tell people where you heard it.
Yeah. Tell them where you got it from.
And where did they get it from? Let's take some time to plug some Art of War there, Adam. It's probably a good time.
Dude, yeah. So Art of War Down Under, guys, is a podcast and streaming service from Australia. We're here to promote Australian gaming, get more eyes on it, and show you the unique and flavorful way in which Australians play the game. As you can see, some of this stuff is very, very off-meta, very wonky, very interesting and intriguing as well. On top of that, we have some really, really great players down here. Now, there's a couple of different segments of what we do. The first one, of course, has been the streaming, which you are watching right now. Hopefully you enjoy it. Hopefully it is of a certain quality and a certain standard of which we aspire to which that is the best in the world. We aspire to give you the best stream and the best content in the world. And the same for our podcast. So the podcast is run by me. It's a 2-parter, as is the other Art of War 1, if you don't know about that. Part 1 is for general consumption, and most likely when able, it is a review of content released by GW for 40K, which will be a review of codexes, FAQs, points changes, anything and everything that GW put out, I will review and give a breakdown for you guys. Because it is, I will tell you right now, it is a hell of a, it's a part-time job keeping up with the rules releases from GW when COVID isn't ruining their rules release schedule. So yeah, that is what we do. And we give it to you guys, hopefully in the hopes that you guys will be able to learn rather than having to run around and learn as you get gotcha'd again and again and again by people playing the new hotness. You can listen to our podcast, learn the things you need to learn, and then have some insights from some experts in the part 2 about what they think are the best things from the book, how they want to play it, and what they're looking forward to. Regular Art of War is a holistic 40K coaching service. They encompasses the War Room, which is and also coaching and streaming service as well. They have a house full of some of the best players in the world, including Nick Nanavati, Richard Siegler, John Lennon, Mark Perry, and the rest of the Art of War team. You can get a coaching there who can help you strategize, build the list that you want to build, and play the way you want to play, and hopefully be the best footy player you can be as to your standards and your goals. And past that, they also have a podcast that's very successful. It's awesome. And the War Room. So in the War Room is what you will get top table games by top table opponents playing each other, and they were breaking down each and every decision that they make. It's actually really, really high quality content as well. And important there, you get the insights from the masters of the game into why they do the things they do and why the things they do matters. It's a little nuanced stuff, really. But Nick, back to this game.
That's it.
Dre goes down, strikes it down. Feel like Stewie's...
Paladins are down.
Paladins are down. I feel like Stewie's on the verge of being tabled. There might be something inside the ruin to the right. I think I saw some models being picked up from there. And there also might be what appears to be some ruins in the top, some models in the top right-hand corner I've just spotted. You see behind his home ruin?
Yeah, just behind the building there.
Might be a dead pile for all we know. So, yeah.
Could be. It could be. I think they've been sitting there for a while, actually. I think they've been sitting there the majority of the game, so they need to come out and do something if they are alive. They can't just be hiding behind there. We probably still have those strikes inside that building, I'd say sitting an inch away from, or more than an inch away from that building edge, because we did see some tape measures doing the old flexi bend around the building, see whether or not that Redemptor could make its charge around the back there. So she's obviously holding that bottom left one.
Yep.
It's a shame we haven't had updating scores throughout this game.
Yeah.
Because it's been a tight one, very tossy-turny. The whole way it's been like that, so it would have been good to keep track of that as we went.
Absolutely. Just had a super chat by Gundam. This guy is doing as much work as Ricardo in his last year at Renault. I do not know to what. I'm accepting that's racing. That's a racing term.
That's a Formula One reference. That one.
Thank you very much, Gundam. You're probably referring to the wonderful Nick Standing, not myself. Not joking. Dude, thank you very much, and thank you so much for the donation, man. Absolutely wonderful of you. Please shout out where
Gundam.
Please shout out where you're from, man. What you're playing, what you're excited about. And dude, you've just donated $5. Give me an army that you hope to see next, and if I can put it on, if there's someone in the winners bracket who has the faction you want to see, I will do my best to get them on the stream. George just said, love all the... Oh, sorry. Gundam just chucked another $5 in. For Mortarian, we prefer the name Chaos Daddy at Art of War, devised by yours truly. I'm not sure I can read that out again. I'm not sure I should have read it out the first time, but it is what it is. Dude, thank you again so much for the kind donations. Incredible generosity, and I really, really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think I have seen Gundam in the Art of War room myself because I'm a member of that. Just a quick shout out to, I know we've already gone over it once, but for those that are questioning whether or not they should join the War room, you definitely should, because what it is actually like a close-knit community of high-level gamers themselves that are all pushing each other and themselves towards victory, really. And there's nothing better than scheming with your mates about all the different things. We don't always have time to play games, even though 90% of the time we are thinking about playing games. So it's a great little sort of like a whiteboard sort of thing. You can throw your ideas off and hear other people's ideas. So yeah, anyone that wants to up their game, definitely get inside the War room. Definitely.
Fantastic. George has just said Adam's powers of shoutcasting are legendary. He can speak underwater with a mouthful of grenades. Fair. Thank you very much, dude. Thank you very much for the compliment, man. I try and be good at this. And dude, Nick Standing, man, blowing this thing out of the water as well. I am expecting to see...
I'm just coming along for the journey, mate. Just slowly learning.
I'm expecting to see the scores finalised for this shortly. We are into 13 minutes left for this round. We're going to jump over, going to have a look at what should be wrapping up in the final moments of our other game, the Sisters versus the Dark Angels. Look, honestly, in all honesty, I think without updating these scores, it looks like the Ultramarines are winning. But Stewie could have been extending his primary score while going up because his secondaries, and so he could still be in front. As for this one, looks like we haven't have scores updated. But there are looks like we haven't even had another Sisters turn, to be honest. What are you seeing here, mate?
Well, Eric's just said that he's starting to be sad that he's not there, so I'm feeling your same pain, mate.
Dude.
I'm feeling your same pain. I'm hearing you. All right, and as you mentioned, just looking at the game here, what are we seeing? So those mortifiers are still on the bottom right-hand side. I keep expecting to come back and see them doing something, but they're not doing absolutely anything at all. Kind of odd, because I believe they would just get rid of those inner circle members just straight off that objective there.
Yeah.
The Repentia have sort of shuffled back. It looks like they've come back to that number 3 objective on the top left-hand side.
The number 4 objective on the bottom left-hand side has been taken by the Repentia. That unit of 4 Repentia has snuck around through those crates, made that charge into that single, and they have picked that guy up. Sorry, mate, you go.
No, you're right. So basically, I was eventually going to get to what you're pointing at. Is that it looks like? No, you're right, mate. The like Diffie said, you are Adam words per minute. Camilleri. So you got to get your words per minute in, and I think Nick is slowly just pushing on those primaries there. I'm very interested to see where the St. Catherine is. I haven't seen this on the table the whole time. I'm very interested to see where that has been.
Yeah, very interested as well. I haven't seen it. Oh, sorry. The Modifiers did just make that charge into the two inner circle members. They were picked up in short order. Mr. Weeb, did anyone bring Tau? I do know at least 2 Tau lists. I can't, and within this meta, I can't guarantee either of them are doing very well. Unfortunately, I will in the break. I will find one for you. I'll read it out on stream if you want to join us for the next game, and then if you want, we can discuss it in the chat together. But dude, $10 donation
from Gundam.
Apologies, $10 donation. Thank you so much, man. Really appreciate your generosity, Mr. Weeb. Sorry, Matt, you go.
Well done. No, you're right. So Gundam's also asked, can we put Custodes on next, mate? We had Custodes on here.
Didn't you
first
see?
up, and they lasted about 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
I don't think
they destroyed their game.
So they played against was it White Scars? I believe it was White Scars they played against. The White Scars team was tabled in like 40 minutes.
It was rough as guts. The Custodes went first, advanced everything behind the middle piece, the large middle line of sight blocker, stayed there for a turn, deep struck the Aquilon Custodes, double shot. Aquilon? Yeah.
The Aquilon, yeah.
The double shot and killed 6 out of 10 of his Vanguard veterans, and then smashed over the barricade, went straight in, and yeah, it was pretty bad time. It was a very, very, very big win for the Custodes. Who knows? That guy could be sitting on our top tables right now. We might see him on the next round. We did have Smurfs. We do have Smurfs on this game. Stuart Trainer is actually playing against Smurfs right now. That is the Grey Knights versus Smurfs. Bobby G in that list as well. Bobby G triple Redemptors. And then a bunch of bits and pieces. Turning out to be a very strong list.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. We had some questions about whether or not it was a strong list at the start. Hopefully that player has come around and has seen the power of it, because I'm liking it a lot. Stu's obviously a good player, like we mentioned at the start. He's got a good army. His GK army is very powerful. He's got lots of tricks. He knows how to play it backwards. You mentioned he's been playing it a lot on TTS as well as in person. Yep. So that Ultramarine player, man, he's pulled it out of the park. He's done really well, if that is the case. We know they haven't been updating scores, and it is very difficult to be able to see off secondaries and primary who is in the lead sometimes.
Well, it's because he's gating around, he's jumping around so much, and the terrain is so good for what he's doing. He could be all over the place. He could have like 1- and 2-man Marine units hiding in every box on all the objectives, and we just can't see him. So it is a bit hard to call. We're going to stick with this one for another minute or two. I just want to see the Mortifiers did pick up that unit of 2 guard. Looks like we've wrapped up the sisters, wrapped up the end of the sisters' turn. Going into what I believe is the top of turn 4. They're not going to get turn 5. There's no way, no how. With 9 minutes left, they're going to get turn 5 in. But it's interesting to see what they're going to be able to get done. With the top of this turn, I don't know how they deny a 15-point turn to the sisters. Don't know how they do it, unless they literally go into the top left-hand corner and clear freaking everything. Just clear it all. If they clear it all out, maybe they have the ability to hold this and to hold him back from getting a 15. I'm just not sure if he can, man. But what do you think? How do you think this is going to end up?
Oh, Gundam is definitely keen to see some Custodes. Sorry, I'm just blown away by Gundam and his generosity here. So we've got another $15 here from Gundam. Trying to make us put on some Custodes. So I don't think we'll have a choice based on the big win that we've seen in the previous game. We're going to see Custodes either way.
I think I'm going to find us some Custodes. I guess I'll get the top. I will get Napier to chuck the top ranked Custode player onto stream 1 for us. There we go. Yes.
Mate, for that, if we can find some Custodes versus Custodes and Custodes versus Custodes, we'll put all 3 tables on for some services like that, Gundam. Not a worry at all.
We won't do that. but fair. That would be fun to call. And the Custodes moved up. Oh, they shot their nothing bullets into the other Custodes. And nothing happened. Oh, now they're shooting back their nothing bullets into the nothing army. Oh, look, well, nothing happened.
52, 46 mile away.
You won't.
Look, Ultramarines versus Custode training run's my absolute favourite. Whoa, Mr. Weeb, he's asking for the impossible here. He's asking for some Tau.
You lost?
I lost.
Oh.
He didn't have training.
Okay.
So we're going to have to do what we can to get some Tau on here for you, Mr. Weeb. That is also a very generous donation.
Updated in the
we'll do everything we can to find some Tau.
So we have just had, apologies guys, we have just had the we've just had the game called. Oh, dude, Mr. Weeb, thank you so much. We got a bit of a bidding war going on. We'll see if we can get you both happy. Get a Tower guy on and get a Custodes player on. We're gonna have to transition back over to the final scores from the Grey Knights Ultramarines game that has just been scored up, and you're gonna be really surprised what the outcome is, guys. It's not what it looks like.
The chat as well. Hey, Josh.
They're
It's not what it looks like. So I'm guessing
they're going to update the scores.
Stuart may have pipped him there.
He did. He pipped him by battle ready.
Whoa.
Legit, he pipped him by battle ready.
Oh, really?
I can't tell you
so that
what...
Ultramarine army wasn't painted?
I can't tell you what isn't painted in this Ultramarine army. It all looks painted to me. But the TO has decided he does not get battle ready for the level of presentation he has. And he's won by 9 points, I think. I think he was down by 1 on the score sheets. And the 10 points up is let him win by 9 points. So he just said he's not happy that he lost. He's not happy that he didn't win that game. He doesn't feel like he won that game. But yeah, on he's going to get a W next to his name. Battle ready matters, guys.
Paint your models, boys.
I can't tell you what's not painted about this army, though. So I'm a bit perplexed. Maybe there's some elements to it that aren't finished. Maybe that's why he was hiding his intercessors and his infiltrators. Maybe they're just unpainted and just sat him in a box.
I'm a bit of a basketball fan, so there's a saying in basketball, practice your free throw, kids. Maybe what we need to start getting on here is paint your models, kids. That's a lesson for everyone at home. You want to win tournaments? Paint your models, kids.
Absolutely right. Hello to the boys in the chat. Diffie wants Tower vs Custodes. If those stars align, we will align those stars. That will be on stream 100%. Yeah, guys, go paint your models. Do not leave yourself exposed to things like this when you've traveled and paid a lot of money. Looks like we're just getting his scores updated now. 52 to Stu. So he got 10 for Scramblers. He got 0 for While We Stand, of course. He lost both of the big bricks. He got 12. He got 12 guys for Direct Assault. That's what he was doing when he was playing for the bottom left-hand corner. He had 2 turns of holding that over his opponent, firstly with the Terminators, and then secondly with the Strikes. So those 2 turns really swung that for him. In retaliation, his opponent did not get Scramblers. I was critical why he went for Scramblers. He didn't have many units that were really well poised to do that. He got 10 for While We Stand. Naturally, he lost the Plasma Inceptors. Stewie gunned for those early and got them down. And he got 9 for Assassinate. So that's all his characters. He only has 3 characters. So James got them all. That turned out to be good. He got the max score he could have gotten for that one. But I thought it wasn't the best choice. He might have found something that could have gotten him better. I don't know if they've fully updated these scores. 52.
No, they obviously can't be if it's a 9 point swing.
Yeah, well, he told me 54 to 45. There we go. 52-44 is what it's reading right now. That might be closer to what he was saying. And maybe on the count back, they've missed a couple of points here, there, or somewhere. But yeah, so a win to Stuart Trainer. The family trainer, you'll be happy. Your boy won. He doesn't feel like he won. I feel like he won. Doesn't matter. You painted your stuff, mate. You rocked up with the painted army. Those are the rules. We all play by them. Well done to Stewie. Maybe we'll see him later in this event. Maybe we'll see him later in the event. We'll go and get a last little geese on our Sisters and Deathwing game. We'll get a last call of that. Then we'll wrap up. Are you able to look up on the schedule for me and tell the people what time we'll be back?
I definitely will, mate. No problem at all.
Thank you very much, my man. Sitting here on the last turn. Looks like this would be the bottom and last turn of the game. Oh, the scores are in. Look, just quickly have a look at that. We were calling it, and we were calling it right. The scoreboard didn't back us up until the last turn. Look at that scoreline, man. 66 to 49. He got the 45 on primary. He got 12 on banners, man. He almost maxed domination, and he maxed While We Stand. He didn't lose any of the units, man. Didn't use any of the mortifier units. So good. Like, well done to Nick.
Right. Or St. Catherine.
Yeah.
I'd be very interested to know where she was at that point.
This is obviously in the upper bit. We can't see because they keep bumping the damn table. But yeah, very impressive game by Nick Wright. Everything to play for there, and he played that very well. There's a gentleman we all might need to keep our eyes on. Well done. All right, so we are going to tune out. And I'm going to take whatever little break I can between these rounds. So I'm going to pull the plug. Nick, anything you want to say before we jump off?
3:20 is when we have the next round starting.
So 3:20. So yeah, about 15 minutes from now, guys. So we'll sign off. see you in about 15, 20 minutes. We might have a little bit further. We'll probably have the waiting screen up in 15 minutes' time. I'm probably going to take as much of a break as I can. I need to. This is a marathon, not a sprint for the old larynx. I need to pace myself. So we will see you right back in about 20 minutes, guys. Don't go anywhere. I'll see if I can get you Custodes, and I'll see if I can get you Tau. If I can make it happen, I will. See you out, guys. See you in